On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we're going to talk to you about Enmatei Rerun. Well, Rerun 2, but technically Run 3. Also, Dancing Dragon Castle is happening right now. Right meow?
Right meow.
Sorry, I said it wrong. I had to correct myself. And we have, of course, your lovely mailbag and a few more of the, guess what? I guess we just do E3 still thoughts at the end. So stay tuned for all of that. This voice speaking to you right now is Flo Omega. With me, as always, the voice you hear over there is Eb Lucky.
Oh god, I am ebbing so hard right now. Anyway, meowdy everyone. I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Prelude to Summer. And while we here at Tsunamega like to bring you the latest FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EN versions of the game, so anyone not in spoilers should go take a nap. I know I need one.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those episodes, gang.
I hope you're ready. Oh, just wait till you get Lucky started on something, then you'll wake the fuck up.
Probably.
Wake
That'll
the fuck
happen.
up, Lucky.
Not yet. Sorry, I mentally threw a crowbar in my gears. Normal show business. Hello, welcome to Let's Talk FGO. Before we go anywhere, I would like to thank all of our wonderful, beautiful listeners, but especially our patrons who make this possible, some of whom are listening live right now. Support us on Patreon for more. More info about that at the end of the show. A word from our sponsors. And, I don't think I actually had anything after that, other than just, warning that it's gonna be one of them shows. Lucky's sleepy. I thought I would be sleepy, because I didn't sleep so good. Had a weirdly sore, left side, but I got over it, so I'm mostly normal.
I think I got 6 to 7 hours of sleep last night.
That should be pretty
Lucky
good.
is never actually
Listen.
sure about the exact time he wakes up or when he goes to bed.
Sorry, I had to rub my eyes. That's my problem, gang, is the allergies. It's the almost summer of it all. Anyway, let's check in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
Because the first segment on our business is Wake the Fuck Up Senpai. We're going to for pro tips.
Yay.
And I don't really have anything in specific, but I would just, remind you that if you're, you're far enough along in the story to start doing your sweets production, and you have enough materials to do that, maybe turn on alerts if you want to maximize your sweets production. It's like the QP fields of Ugudaguda's past, you've got timers, and if you turn alerts on, FGO will send you a little alert when you're done if you want to maximize. There are different bonuses that are, daily, so there is, optimization to be had, but you got 3 weeks, so think about it if you're the kind of person who won't check back every so often. Also, because I did see some people talking about this in our Discord, maybe don't forget about your support setup. I know I forgot about mine at first, because I did sleep through end of maintenance, so I didn't get started on FGO until, this afternoon, technically, after I was fully up and at 'em. So, make sure you're setting your support setups. I stare at the empty Lancer slot. Guys, is there even a bonus Lancer in this event? I don't understand why they couldn't do Summer Kyo.
That's what everyone's saying.
Alright. Discord chat says there's no bonus Lancers, period. So, meh.
Meh.
I hope there's no archers in the lineup. I guess you just use berserkers if there is.
I'll just fucking put Melusine in there. Whatever. She can go blow some shit up.
She can have fun. But, thus ends Wake the Fuck Up Senpai.
Listen, when there's no bonus servant, that means all Lancers are a bonus servant. You just gotta turn that mindset into a grind set.
I mean, listen, I feel like I do see more, as a complete aside, I do see more and more these days, people just put their high-quality 5 stars in the support slot with a relevant CE. Obviously you see a lot of, Castoria and other support casters that way, but you'll see Koyans, you'll see, high-level berserkers like Morgan, they just, just roll with it. And I think that's honestly okay. Especially when it's just
unless
damage
there's,
up.
unless the bonus servant has damage, big damage bonuses, generally, it's all about the CEs, baby. That's where, all the money is. Because most people, have their comps and setups. They usually just pick a CE support if they need something in a particular niche, or they're trying to get a particular comp going out. For people who have, setups that they're comfortable with, supports are just extra drops, really.
And I appreciate it.
I do appreciate it.
I was going to make a crack about, well, they don't really do servant bonus drops anymore, but then again, we are getting a second rerun of Enmatei, which is an old enough event that there are specific drops.
And a lot of the times it's usually bond up, friend points up, or support up, I should say. And then usually damage. No, sometimes, no, I still think they fairly do, like, point ladder up. Sometimes. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm drinking more coffee.
Sip. There it is.
I made that audible just for you, chat. Anyway, enough about that. We're moving on. We don't got any records from the throne. Our usually regular team and topic. But we do got not all the world's evil, but damn close. Because it's Lucky. So, Lucky wanted event CEs. Didn't really care about the twins. Unfortunately, like I said, I wouldn't say they're from some obscure thing, but they're from a little known, Type Moon adaptation. Mahoskai no Hako. And so I have no strong feelings about them either way. We'll see about how I feel about them by the event ends. But I spent 30 tickets. I got the 3-star and the 5-star CE, one of each, and I didn't get those until I was on my last 10 tickets. I wasn't having a good time, chat.
Damn.
Nah. I also got a Estrella in there, but my Estrella's already NP5, so Rare Prism. Yay. But I'm slight pain right now. Anyway, that's it for me. How are all you?
I have 0 CEs because I'm not spending anything. Tickets, nothing. I gotta hold on, chat. But that does mean that we can move on to Did You Finish Your Master Missions? To finish your Master Missions this week, you defeat 5 servants, defeat 10 servants, defeat 3 servants with the Heaven attribute, defeat 5 enemies with the Super Giant trait, acquire 2 skill gems or statues, and acquire 4 skill gems or statues. I am pretty sure I did all of these doing, I'm like done with all of them except I think like the Super Giant. I did all of these doing interludes during the interlude campaign. You can probably pick up most of these during the event as well, but you do have some interlude bonuses left over, I think, too, so consider checking those. You can run them in. But sorry, I talked about how I was, I'm not feeling sleepy, but it's like the moment we started the show, it's like allergy attack, eyes die, nose die, fox die. Sorry, my brain just furrowed forward. We must have done the original Metal Gear Solid, right?
Yeah.
I have no memory of that at all. That's weird. I think I remember us doing 2.
No, we did. We did
3.
Metal Gear 2, then we did Metal Gear Solid 2, and Metal Gear Solid 3.
It's just a weird case where we definitely must have done it, because I remember doing 2 and 3, but it was just, weird, where I'm just like, wow, I have no memory of that. Maybe it was, we did, Metal Gear 2 for, an hour, and then we're like, alright, let's do Solid.
I'm pretty sure because when you actually get down to it, Metal Gear Solid 1 isn't that long a game. Especially if you know what you're doing.
True, yeah, I was about to say, that if you know how to beat Metal Gear Solid, it's not that long of a game. None of them are really that long if you know what you're doing, because they all have speedrun achievements. We'll see in late August how everybody feels about Metal Gear Solid 4.
I might have to do battle with Omega who gets to pilot on get in the pilot seat for that one.
I'm perfectly fine to play it on my own, because I fucking love that game. I put a lot of hours into 4 back in the day. With Peace Walker, we can at least do the co-op funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually excited for. I've mentioned this. I know I've mentioned this several times every time we bring up Metal Gear, but I have not actually beaten Peace Walker, so...
Yeah. And because you haven't beaten Peace Walker, that should absolutely be you in the driver's seat. But I'm okay with you driving 4 in the stream. Listen, I'm doing Okami right now, and then I don't know what we're doing next. We'll talk about that probably a little later. Skelegrims.
You know what up? Sorry, just one last thing. I need to find a PSP emulator, and I need to find us Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2.
If you can find one that works, yeah, we should think about that. That's a game series that I haven't interacted with at all, other than I know it exists.
I like it. It's literally, trading card game fucking Metal Gear, and I like it. A lot of people are about it, but it's
Listen, if Konami rebundled it, I'd love to take a crack, but I guess we're saving that for Master Collection Volume 3. Anyway, sorry, refocusing myself after my allergy eyeball attack. Skelegrims! In JP, I mentioned it earlier, enmatei rerun. Starting the 12th, ending the 26th. This one is explicitly titled Summer Prep Edition. Now, what do they mean by that? I don't fucking know.
Usually when you would think summer prep, you would think that summer is right around the corner, but we usually don't do summer until after anniversary. Late August. So...
Yeah, JP is at the earliest late August, and sometimes they've done it very late. So, I'm not sure. I kind of think based on the banners, it was an excuse so that they could do something similar to what they did just now for us in EN, that, they got to rerun summer banners from last year as an excuse for the story completion campaign and also summer prep, especially because obviously our summer event will link into our next story event. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we will get another story-linked summer? It seems, based on the fact that they keep revealing, like, additional subtitles in the CMs, that indeed this 1 second before aftertime is supposed to be some sort of triptych, some sort of 3-part story.
Man, it's like there's 3 fates.
Yeah. But they did say for enmatei there is a new challenge quest, and there are some new bonus quests for apples. Not like super high difficulty stuff, but they're adding some extra content if you've cleared it already to get a little more out of it. And some of these include, like, new rewards, like, one of them I saw you can get, like, bronze saplings out of, so, like, it is actually refreshed stuff. So that's good to see. But, I mentioned before, a shitload of banners. Technically, the summer ones of these haven't started yet. They're going to start in, like, the 14th on JP time, but they've announced all of them. And funnily enough, I think I saw a Pochi-sensei tweet, which was just, like, an image capture of her looking at the banner. It was just, like, translated as, okay.
Well, it's because... on her first go around, she had to roll pity for her servant.
And then there's a bunch of banners,
and then when she did it again the next day, got it like immediately. So she was just like, okay.
All right, but there are a bunch of banners. The headliner is Benny and Fion Kyo, as in Kiyohime. But we also have a regular Tamamo Saber Deermud banner and a Yangui Fei and Tomoe banner. So those are all up right now, and then basically in a day or so, depending. We will have a Summer Musashi, Summer Carmilla double up, Summer Jean Ibaraki, Maid Alter Summer Helena, and Summer Tamamo Ann and Mary. So it's, like one block of servants from each different summer. If I had to guess, there will probably be another block of similar rate-ups for other random summer events soon. Like, they'll wait a week and then they'll rotate through a few more. As we have discussed lately, after last year, JP isn't shy about giving you, like, 32 banners, a much more literal number. So, I'm wondering if they're just going to use this as an excuse to just pre-anniversary rotate through all the summer banners.
Maybe.
And then coincide maybe with, like Ash and Space Aresh, like, right around anniversary time, at the end of next month. Don't know.
Would be powerful.
It'd be interesting to see, like, that's the thing about kind of the postscript of FGO is, like, I already kind of didn't know what the rules were, but I feel like I know even less about the rules.
What are rules? Guidelines meant to be broken, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. They have this rough idea that they are doing kind of a weird little postscript story, an almost 2.5 kind of a thing. But for the rest of the stuff, it's like literally all bets are off. We're getting not only a rerun, but a rerun of an event that already had a rerun. We're just firing it off. I don't know. Also, crazy Deermud buff. Saber Deermud specifically. But he got his 3rd skill buffed as a rank up that dropped at this event. It is now 10 to 20% buster and quick up on self for 3 turns, is a 20 to 30% battery, and it gives all female allies 3/3 invul.
Peak Milady vibes.
This is on top of, that's still his skill that originally was NP gain up and defense up. So now it's a hard defense for your allies and also is a NP steroid and a battery. So, very strong buff. I mean, it was the skill that was named after one of his, sword NPs, the one he doesn't use. So, makes sense that it's a strong skill. But yeah, no, we're really dialing him up.
So clearly Saber Demon costume this year.
I mean, I have actually heard a couple of people throw that one out there. Wouldn't be shocked. He is a pretty popular design. So much so that A1 back in the day accidentally put him in the America CM.
Yep.
They saw his design early and didn't realize that it wasn't that one coming out. Oh, also, I forgot to put this in my notes, but I should throw this in there. It could also have been a pro tip, but it is JP-specific news. But yeah, so they're planning on updating FGO2 Unity version 6, I think. And as a result, apparently, FGO is going to be huge. Your total game size, if you're doing the additional data download, will be a 30 gigabyte download. I don't know if that's the total install size.
It probably won't be the complete install size, but you'll need that much space at least to download the full update.
Yeah, to download the files and assign them. So yes, very large update. What does that mean exactly? Don't know, but big. They're going to compile shaders locally. Yeah, that's another great joke. The sex update, because it's to Unity 6. Yeah, Keep them coming, Chad. Keep them coming. Hit me with the jokes. But, that aside, we do also have the EN news. Dancing Dragon Castle, fired right on time, started the 12th, ends the 2nd of July, so this event will literally end, like, a couple of days before anniversary hits. Basically how we drew it up in last week's pregame. Go ahead and check that episode out if you missed it, or you want to refresh yourself. There is a Kiyohime rank up, which was discussed then, but it's already available. That's kind of a point I've been bringing up when I do pregames lately, is sometimes they, wait till you're a week in, sometimes they fire them right away. This one's a right away. Go ahead, get that 2 sync quartz, and buff an event unit. We do also, for this time period, have half AP Bleached Earth. So whenever you are done with the event, you can keep working on your grind without necessarily taxing yourself. And we did hit our social media goals, which I did write as SOCMED in my notes, if anybody's, has a weird shiver about realizing how long it's been since they've seen it phrased that way. But, yes, we did hit our social media goals, so you got extra Saint Quartz. And I have some first impressions at least written down at the bottom. We can talk about it. But that's for later, because that's the Skelograms.
That's the Skelograms. And so, with that, Lucky will take control right now. And it is time for this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, a segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. We only got 4 this week, but that's fine. It's fine. We'll get through them all, starting at the top here with Monster Girl Aficionado, who says, Dear Lucky and Omega, no question this week, just sending good vibes and wishing you well. Keep up the great work. Same to you, my comrade. That does remind me, though, I need to get back into the 14. I need to do more Alliance raids. I really don't want to do Alliance raids, though, because they take fucking forever.
Well, as you keep gearing up, they'll take less and less time, at least.
It is true. But moving on. The next one comes from Ninja and Minor Level Grind, who says, Howdy, Lucky and Omega, hope you're having a good week. Question, with the most recent Nintendo Direct having lots of interesting entries, I wanted to ask, have either you considered going for a Switch 2, or have they still not gotten an interesting enough upcoming library yet? So, if I could afford a Switch 2, I'd probably get a Switch 2. Yeah, I think the Switch 2 has enough games now that I'd be interested in owning one. And they have upcoming games that I definitely know that I'd be interested in. Unfortunately, consoles are expensive. Lucky is still unemployed. This means the amount of money I can throw at particular hobbies is limited. So, while I would like to have a Switch 2, Lucky does not have a Switch 2. I cry.
Yeah, that's basically the same way I am for me. And, obviously I understand kind of the pressures that the companies making consoles are under. I think the new Xbox CEO, she actually talked about, how expensive it is to produce hardware these days. I think she said something like storage is, doubled or 4 times the price they paid for it 6 months ago or something. I think was it was a very short, it was 6 months to a year, and memory is the same way. So yeah, I understand why Nintendo has to do price hikes, and Sony and Xbox have done similar. It does not make it any easier for me to afford a Nintendo Switch. Everybody, please, as a joke, demolish all local data centers. Suck the memory out of them and sell them on the black market.
That just reminds me of a news article I read recently about how a neighborhood in Texas is under fire because a man basically sold a bunch of land to them so that kids could have a, undeveloped space to play in, and through shenanigans, it ended up in the hands of the city, and they're going to basically take all that land and put a data center on it. And people are just all this was not the intent of this land.
No, that's going to cause problems. I wouldn't do, people already have expressed a distaste of data centers. They are not very popular. They are not well liked, and for a lot of reasons. There are complaints about local water usage because it affects your water bill. There's complaints about power usage because it affects your power bill, because your local neighborhood power network probably doesn't have the quality to run these data centers 24/7. There are noise complaints. They are actually noisy and disruptive to people. It's, even without getting into the raw ethics of AI data centers, they are a undue burden on the local communities in small areas where they are cheapest to assemble, and so it kind of sucks ass. But and some people have already started to respond with vandalism, and I suspect that this will only grow, especially as your average people in these neighborhoods does not actually see any of the benefits of it. But yeah, no, I'm in the same boat to wrap back around to the mailbag question. I'm in the same boat as you, Lucky. I think Nintendo has sold me on the Switch 2, but unfortunately, the opportunity to pay for the Switch 2, not good right now. Like, maybe not soon, but like, it's a thing where I'm like, man, I gotta come up with some kind of, like, maybe like do some like donation run streams or something. Not like a subathon, I don't even know how that would work, but like do some marathon streams expressly to try and like drum up a little attention and donations to start funding the Switch 2 war chest. Because they are releasing good games, but man, there's a lot of other games. And unfortunately it is whatchamacallit, like, it is one of those cases where it's only Nintendo first parties, you know? Like, maybe a couple of second parties. Like, I don't actually think Nintendo owns that one, like, retro anime-style game coming out, I think, next month? Or maybe August? But, like, the Switch 2 does have enough exclusives to get them, but it's that case where, like, no amount of, like, fence-sitting will ever make those not Switch exclusive, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they did eventually bring Starfield to PS5. I don't have it on PS5 or PC, because it also turns out that, like, was Starfield worth it? Who knows? Who's to say? But, like, a lot of games that were billed as exclusives have wrapped around. But I already have a PS5, so guess where I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Revelation.
I will be playing that in there. I was actually going to make this tweet the other day, but I forgot to, and I just kind of am. But I was actually thinking about it. There's a lot of people who are still having the discourse up between playing your games on PC and playing your games on console. And, like, absent of every other, every other factor, I realize that I like having a console, because when I play games on a console, that's what I'm doing. I'm playing games. If I'm on a computer playing games, there is like a 90% chance I'm not just playing games, I'm doing something else at the same time. Because my computer is such a wonderful, tool that can do so many things. My brain goes, I could be doing something else right now. And generally I do so. When I'm on console, the only thing I'm on there to do is to play that game. Which lets me, focus on playing that game. God, I was just
gonna, if you have more to the thought, you can finish it.
Yeah. But no, it's just like, if I'm on my computer playing a game, I'm generally also I probably have a manga up on the side. I probably have Discord up. I probably have a notepad where I'm taking notes. I probably have Wikipedia up when I'm doing some weird-ass research. I probably have my tabletop character up as well that I glance over and go, as I plan out my, next purchases and whatnot. I'm not just playing that game. I'm doing so many different things. And while I'm okay at multitasking, I cannot do all those things perfectly at the same time. So I am bouncing around constantly doing that. If I'm playing on my PS5, I'm generally laying in my bed, propped up on my pillows, and the only thing that I have my phone for alerts, and I'm playing my game. So, like, I know there's a lot of people who just be all like, well, don't do those other things. I'm all like, you are not me. Do not pretend you know what it's like to be me. So.
Also, literally, actually ableist.
Yeah.
Like, that, I think at least a decent number of people understand the attention spectrum these days. But yeah, no, that's like, some people don't focus when they're presented with multiple channels to do stuff. Like, I can focus. I am a bit of a natural multitasker, but usually that's just, like, if I'm playing, like, a game that has, a decent amount of downtime, I'll, have YouTube videos or podcasts or audiobooks going in the background. And usually, if a game is demanding my full attention, I will pause those. The amount of, like, reading comprehension and technical skills I have to apply, like, when I play, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel on PS5, like, to do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel, that unironically requires my full attention. Like, if I will try and, like, I'm gonna relax and go on ladder and play a little Yu-Gi-Oh! And then it's like, no, hold on, wait a minute, I gotta fucking lock in. What am I doing? What do these cards do? Timer's ticking? Like, so yeah, no, I totally understand. I have currently, like, a separate, like, work PC, game PC setup, but even then, the two PCs and the two monitors are literally right next to each other. The keyboards are double-deckered together. Like, it's easy to multitask on PC, and that can kind of be a detriment to your locking in. Some of it's also just stubbornness on my part. Like, I got started console gaming technically first. Like, yeah, I played some old-ass PC games. We had an old DOS box. I think I've talked before, playing, like, the original Duke Nukem and Commander Keen and shit on, but technically I played Super Nintendo first. I think I was technically playing Mario before I could read. So, like, there's just something, comfortable about it.
But with that, we will move on. This next one comes from Deep Sea Dave, who says, "Good day, gents. Hope you're enjoying the event. Definitely surprised at how much I like it so far. I'm glad Kyo got a new look. I often wonder what costumes older servers would have done if they released today. A lot of adding or removing a little bit of clothing in the early Ascension. Are there any early characters you hope get new costumes too?" Well, speaking on the event, I'm only on section 2 right now, 1 pip in. Have not gotten that far. Just met Mr. Smartphone, and then saw him got wrecked, as is good and proper. But on the subject of older costumes, definitely, definitely Boudica, I believe, could use, an updated costume. Steno and Urale we could have some work, done on them.
They have some great CEs you could pick from, too.
Yeah. And honestly, a lot of the males are very just kind of meh.
Honestly, this was a discussion I saw in a separate Discord, like, early last week, and it's just funny that it happens you wrapping around, but, like, early, it's weird now to be, like, FGO started at just kind of like a half-ass cash grab, but it kind of did. It was just kind of like, oh, everybody's doing a go. We've got some story concepts we can do. We can do a mobile app, right? Like, a lot of early servants have very simple, very, like, non-impactful Ascension arts. Like, in addition to Boudica, I think Matahari, for instance, would be a great pick. Like, her Ascensions are super minimalist, you know?
No, like, honestly, I can't...
simple ones as well.
Honestly, I think the list is just too much. I think you just go on and on and on about just how a lot of early servants just have bad Ascensions. Like, some of them are okay. Like, genuinely, I think Arturia is okay. Like, she gets the cape, she gets a crown, it changes up her silhouette.
Listen,
Like, greatly.
Takeuchi's drawn a lot of Saber over the years. He's had a lot of practice. And not to say that, like, the designs of the servants are bad, it's just they didn't know what they were doing with Ascensions. They didn't know what they were capable of, because the Ascensions had to match, the 2D sprites. So, like, the artists didn't really have to stretch their legs at all. And it shows. Also, I agree with chat. I think Tamamo should get a costume just as a Type Moon heroine. Like, it's a little bullshit. We put a regular-ass Tamamo in this... Nasu, you can't unmake Tamamo in the game, okay? She's in FGO.
I'm trying to figure out why. She exists.
She's a bonus servant in enmatei, because she's actually in the story, too. It's like, occasionally, you know, we bring up Vanilla Tamamo because that's better.
But... So unfortunately, yes. I think if we could probably just pull up a list of all the launch FGO servants, and probably up to maybe, you know, the first year, I would say, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And
like, obviously,
honestly, I feel like Tamamo needs a second. I feel like Tamamo needs a second summer version. I swear to God.
Could be interesting. We could do it. There's no rules.
We got a second summer BB. Actually, I don't think she's actually counted as a summer servant, but it's close enough.
I'm pretty sure at least one of those Ascensions is summer mode. Listen, you don't need to be in the summer event to be a summer servant. Looks at Space Aresh. Looks at her basic trait is summer mode servant. Yeah. No, so like they have some fun options in there. We do some weird stuff. And I mean, I'm not going to say that not that Wad Arco didn't do her damnedest with Tamashark, but like you can't say that she doesn't have more in the tank.
No. Like Summer Tomo is the only one that has a wet T-shirt. That's great, but we can do a second pass at that. But I think we've talked enough on that subject. Let's
go ahead and leave in the comments if you have a early servant you'd want to see a costume in.
Yeah. But we move on to last but not least. It's the Tiger King that agrees with the rabbit that KH lore is kind of dumb and too way down the rabbit hole. Oh boy. So I did preface this mailbag with, I'll die on the hill that KH lore is dumb. Because if you do not know, during our Final Fantasy XIV stream during this week, at some point, the topic of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer came up. And we had a discussion about it. Which, like gravity, inevitably led us to talking about whether Kingdom Hearts is convoluted or not. Lucky was of the opinion that it was. Omega was of the opinion that it's not. Everyone else was kind of cheering on the sidelines. So there was a lot of back and forth, and everyone brought up their points, and I think we basically reached an agreement that Kingdom Hearts is not actually convoluted. It's not even particularly complicated. But it's dumb. It's really, really dumb. It is dumb for the reasons that we keep trying to introduce new plot threads and plot twists on top of the old plot threads and old plot twists, which takes place over several games, several iterations, several console generations, and seems to be going all over the place, which leads to weirder story beats down the road, a la, Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh no, no, when you think about it, this is one of the points that me and Omega did agree on. Kingdom Hearts is super consistent. Kingdom Hearts is always, at the high level, a battle between light and darkness as actual, concept. And at the bottom level is a journey of a Keyblade wielder. Like, everything in Kingdom Hearts serves to those two purposes. It's everything in between that gets messed up. Especially when you get into villain motivations and plans. Like,
and I will say, I know this is something that, like, Axe has talked about when it's come up because, fail portrayal happens, so we'll go on tangents.
Yeah.
We'll talk about anything. But, like, yeah, he just said it in the patron chat. I know Axe has issues, which I do agree with, that also, like, it's usually villains who are in the know, but also a lot of the villains actively try and literally gaslight Sora. Like, they actually lie to him about stuff and try and manipulate his memories. It is, in fact, the whole theme of Chain of Memories, but it's a thing that keeps coming back, which, like, does make it trickier to understand as a player, because, like, you get new information, and your brain doesn't instantly go, wait a minute, you're a bad guy! You're fucking lying to me! Like, that's what they want out of it. Like, I was thinking about this when you said it earlier. Like, I think, honestly, you can explain all of Kingdom Hearts, like, incredibly shortly, well under the character count of a tweet. It's just light good, dark bad. My friends are my power. That's it. That's every game. That's all you need to know. Like, you don't actually need to understand anything deeper to get what's going on. You just figure out who's the dark, who's the light. Your friends are your power. Just remember that. You're okay. But like you said, a lot of things try and, like, get in the way of those simple concepts and, like, cock block you from understanding it. And, like, no, this is, I think, like we said, we've come to an agreement. No, I think actually, like, Kingdom Hearts is kind of dumb. Like, it's trying too hard. Well, I don't actually know if it is functionally trying too hard deliberately, but it comes out that it's trying too hard to, like, have all these characters and stories and world building when it is fundamentally just, like, a story of Disney-ass, storytelling, a universe where you can, in the space of the same, 40 hours, meet Aladdin and Jasmine in one corner, meet, Alice from Alice in Wonderland in another, and, see, like, Beast and Belle in another corner. And we can't ever see Tarzan again because the Conan Doyle estate sucks. Like, it's messy. And a lot of it's silly.
And I did see people bring up a very good point that even though, all the games are spread over several generations, that, Square Enix / Disney has put in a concentrated effort to make sure that all available content is readily available. Like, this was the, the all-in-one bundle that they had. They're coming out with another one, was it next year?
Yeah, it's either late this year or early next year to include 3 with the Remind DLC in it.
With Remind. So, no, we can't say that, all the information is there and available for you to parse. You just have to get through 3 main games, like 1, 2, 3 sub-games with Chain of Memories, Dream Drop Distance, Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
I think those are it. And then you have to watch, like, 2 cutscene compilations with Recoded and Days.
Yeah.
And then there's the weird prequel thing with Aqua. I don't know what I'm going to call that. A prologue? I don't know.
I think it's billed as a prologue. Is that one listed as 0.8?
Yeah. 2.8.
It's 2.8. You kind of don't need... That's the thing. Like, you kind of don't need Recoded. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing. Actually, I wonder if they're going to put
watch Recoded.
I wonder if they're going to put, like, X-Cross fucking cutscenes in the new one.
Maybe. There are... Because we've gone through several iterations of the mobile game.
Yeah, I don't know. But still, it's still a lot.
It's a lot of content, no matter what.
Also, I need to get some justice for my boys Donald and Goofy. I just realized all this cool shit happens to everyone else. Donald and Goofy have been the same as they ever been.
I mean, Donald gets his at least in 3. He is, like, one of, like, 3 guys to cast Zeta Flare. Like, That's pretty good. He is, top 5 most powerful mages in Final Fantasy canonically.
I still love the point in Kingdom Hearts 3 where I hear Donald the Goofy screaming for Sora through the controller. I love that. I love that so much.
No, it's cheap heat, but they've got some good beats. They got some schmoves. It's just, there's, like I said, there's a lot of downtime in between, and the conflict, I think, between the original story, like, not even the Final Fantasy characters, but the, OC Do Not Steal and the Disney stuff, like, that's been something they've kind of waxed and waned on for a long time, and Kingdom Hearts 3 definitely was, like, I think the entry everybody kind of went like, this don't hit the same way anymore. What's happening here? The answer? Don't know.
Don't know. Anyway, this has a part 2, but I hope everyone understands why I say Kingdom Hearts is dumb. It's not complicated, it's dumb, and this is the hill I'm gonna die on from now on. But they said, question, hey guys, with the enmatei event is a preview for summer, do you think we'll be running it in with Benny again, but maybe it'll be an adult Benny as a swimsuit, kind of like how they did with Summer Morgan? Anyway, that's it for me. Sending goodbye. Oop, there's a read more here. Your way, and hope you have a good evening. Honestly, yes, I do think we're going to be doing some sort of summer in event. Like I said, I am also hoping for the more adult Benny Enma. I am hoping for the Summer Koyanskaya, because, this is, lucky on a random day, just thinking about the events, and just suddenly, I had a thought, because we're doing Benny Enma themed stuff. Koyanskaya really likes Benny Enma. We don't have a Summer Koyanskaya. We had that great episode of frickin' Fujimara Doesn't Understand, where,
yeah.
both Koyanskayas show up to, slap. I forgot his name already because he's that unimportant to me. Or do you call one Paper Moon Berserker? What was his damn name? Duradana?
Duradana? Yeah.
Duradana. Slap Duradana, run away with Ben Enema. Like, perfect, yes. And plus, last year, we already got, was it last year? Was last year Summer Nikki? Was that the year before?
I think it was last year. Because I don't
No, this is the year of Summer. This is the year of Summer Nikki.
Is it this year it's coming up?
Yeah. Oh god, I don't remember last summer at all. Ooh. What did we do last summer? Help! It was... Who was the anniversary for last summer?
Anniversary was Madame Prez.
That's right. That's what happened. Yes, it was, Madame Prez events and, the summer resort kind of thing. With Summer Tiamat! How can I forget?
Yeah, Summer
Lucky
Tiamat
you fool!
Hold on, I'm looking through the list. Oh, yeah, Miss Crane, Tiamat, Summer Miu, Huyan was the welfare. Oh, right,
Wait,
that's right. Gotta remember, Lucky, we finally got our Summer Passion Lip.
That's right.
Nasu Takara, she said, I'm sorry.
Yes. Wada Arco too strong, could not be stopped.
Yeah, and Shark Creme.
Shark Creme. Also important.
Moon Rabbit, running up some more servants. Yeah, it was a pretty strong spread, because it was we were back up to 3 5-stars.
Okay. Wow, I can't believe I forgot that. My memory is going. Help!
I think it's just the thing of, because this year has a very big summer that's kind of messy, it's wait, who was in that list entirely? Let me double check, actually. I'm scrolling through the list of servants by ID. So that should be in the 401 range. Yeah, that's there. Yeah, so it's Seal, Nikich, Jufu, Summer Tenno, and MH XX.
MH XX. That's
Alter,
who
yeah.
I was
it's double X Alter is the huh?
What? We're getting a little servant verse, baby.
Well, we have Space Aresh as well at the front, but yeah, it's servant verse Seal and stuff. And then it goes back to the moon. It's wild.
It's wild. We just all space out here. Anyway, so, yes, I do think, I don't know, who we have for the anniversary. I don't know if they'll make, Benny Enma the anniversary servants. But also, I have no predictions. I really don't.
We are in the post game. We are in New Game Plus. I don't fucking know, man.
Maybe we can do another Koyanskaya and she has a summer form, but that's just me being Cope? Azrael could also be interesting, but again, I know nothing about this dude. Does anyone know anything about this dude?
I think he was in some of the before the after time stories, so yeah?
I know he shows up in the Aftertime story, and I know that he's like the boss in like the Grand Assassin Battle.
The Grand Assassin duel, so like I could see it, but like I also like I genuinely don't. I really don't know.
Honestly, like again, I talked about this. Asriel like kind of feels like a New Year's servant to me.
Could be.
Like I feel like he slops into there. But no, like I mean, we got Madame Prez. Like we got you got your we got your pseudo Solomon.
Yeah, we got pseudographic.
You got that for free. No Valentine's though. Get wrecked. Like so. Honestly, like I mentioned, like I know I just said this, but I have no strong predictions. I would like an anniversary Koyanskaya to get like super Koyanskaya, merge the two Koyanskayas into one whole. Actually, no. I'm just gonna say, give me a Tomomo face. Like, give me some Tomomo love. Like, give me a Tomacat Summer. Give me a Tomomo Summer 2. Give me a Koyanskaya 3. Like, give me something. Give me some Tomomo
Honestly,
love. It's like actual
Cat
Tomomo
Summer
love.
would also be like a really good way to bring it back because like that this seems to be more of a feeling that Nasu has come to later of like, okay, so with the Tomomo 9, we don't want all the same Tomomo 9 all the time, so we'll like do different ones in different places as like different cameos, like with Arya and stuff like that, and then Cat, and then it's like, but Nasu, you definitely decided that after the fact. Because, like, otherwise, why the fuck did you list out all of them except Tomomo forgot a couple of names so we could be flexible?
Yes, we are still missing Violet from the Sakura 5. But considering that we got, 4 out of 5, I think we're doing pretty good.
I mean,
we just got like 3 BBs.
I feel like Violet's gotta be coming, but...
Eventually.
It's a matter of, like, where she fits in. Hold on, actually, let me see. Who's she schooled up from? Oh, well, that's kind of... Yeah, I don't really know where we're going to go with that. That's right, because Violet is Medusa, Melusine, the real one, and Apsara from Indian mythology. And I don't remember what other deities Apsara is listed to. That's like it's a type of being. So, like, that's kind of like, I mean, Anniversary, Wad Arco, be as good a place as any for Violet, if they don't have like an event to stick her in, but also, you never know.
You do never know. But, like I said, we do have the usual tradition of our anniversary servant usually having a summer ascension, which I'm fine with. I think it's neat. So, I'm gonna lay my chips on summer Tomomo face, and pray for the big win. Other than that, I have a strong feeling that at least Saber Deermid is gaining the summer costume this year. I feel it. I feel it where my bones would be, but I don't have bones. You can't prove that I have bones.
That definitely feels like a solid one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, Lucky. I mean, not that it's a guarantee, but we forgot to say this, so we're stupid. Camazotz.
True. Super fucking true.
We feel like we're doing an LB7 callback with Penny Enma.
Oh shit! Then you can get the summer Camazotz costume. Let's fucking do it. That'd be good.
Like,
you want to see that. You know you want to see that man in a swimsuit. Don't you lie to me.
But yeah, that's another one that's like very, very, very in demand, and that's usually what we do at anniversaries, right? Is like anniversary is when Nasu and the team kind of bend their own rules to be like, okay, you're anticipating this. This is a servant you really wanted. We're gonna give you the hype you deserve. Like that was what it was for Space Aresh. It was Summer Aresh. That's kind of how it is for Madame Prez.
No, like. Nasu was like very specific about, beasts and whatnot. I'm trying to remember he did in one of the interviews he did say something about Camazotz, but I don't remember what it was. It was definitely something about
because obviously Draco came out, a while back as Beast, and then Space Aresh is a different beast type, and people were like, Mr. Nasu, I thought you said that we could only ever summon one beast, and he was basically like, you can only ever summon one beast from this timeline. Space Aresh is from the Servantverse, so it's different, which, like, I think a lot of people took as, like, a runner that, like, Camazotz could work. I believe there was some interview discussion about playable Camazotz, and Nasu definitely, like, didn't put it out, but he was definitely like, oh, we did not anticipate you guys would vibe with this guy that much. Like, but that may have been an earlier interview about LB7 in general.
Listen, Camazotz was amazing. Like
LB7 in general is really good. Like we hit the anniversary of LB6 like earlier this week, and like that's a very strong story for people to remember. But like 7 also was like really good. Like to kind of like to position that as an actual climax to the Lost Belt part of the story was, like, really good. There was a bonus boss and everything. There were Spanish guitars.
Like I tell everyone, LB, like, Lost Belt 7 was like, we took fucking, Babylonia and, Time Temple's Ptolemy, and we smashed them together. And it was a ride the entire fucking time. Oh, it was amazing.
I'm gonna be honest, Ort's theme music haunts my dreams sometimes.
Haunts your phone sometimes, too.
I
Jesus.
just think about them spooky synth sounds.
Yeah.
That guy was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
Ooh,
actually, also, on that note, I do have a request. Summer Cuckoo.
Yeah, that's one that I think a lot of people have been worrying about, thinking about for, like, if we're doing callback summers, like, it's time for Summer Cuckoo, it's been a few years.
It has to be Summer Cuckoo with the Dino 5. I need my boys back. I need them back.
Well, you know, there's a World Cup this year.
Yeah!
It is happening soonish, so it'll be, like, around summer. So we could get some football references. Just hear the fucking clank, clank, clank noise as he climbs up the tube. But yeah, I think there's a lot of room for summer speculation, but we'll probably get more later as we get closer.
Like, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that we haven't, pulled the Summer Cuckoo. She is literally the sun. What is more synonymous with summer than the sun?
I think, honestly, it's probably because, like, the summer we're about to do is, like, literally a prelude to a story chapter, so, like, it's a lot more locked in.
It's Dino 11, excuse me.
Yeah, it was 11 dinos total, because of Inuzama 11. That's right.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about last year in JP, next year for us is summer, other than, they did bring out a couple of stops, but they did remember to do, like, a summer Tiamat, which is also really funny. Like, real good work with her. And they cleared off another TM heroine off the list with Moon Rabbit, aka Shiki Swimsuit, who I'm sure is only calling herself Moon Rabbit just because if she was, Ryogi Shiki Swimsuit, she would, like, have to kill us. She'd have to kill everybody in the room and then herself. On summer costume, you could pull it off. God, Drake's another one I'd really want to... Waterco, help me out. If nothing else, just so one of the Ascensions is fucking her ponytail from Extella.
Yeah.
Extella Link. Like, that's another thing that's crazy to me is, like, not just for costumes, but just in general, like, I mean, yes, for costumes, Wadarko had to go crazy. I saw a couple of, Medusa costumes, because there's some Medusa posting accounts on Twitter out there. But, like, even just some of the general servant designs that Wadarko did for Extella and Extella Link are like, damn. She did, like, the Tron Kukulin.
But I think that is enough for that. I don't think I have anything else to add. Do you, Omega?
No.
Alright then, that is that for the mailbag. Everyone, thank you so much for your submissions. I hope we see more next week.
With a couple of tangents, but mostly on topics brought up. We're at about an hour.
Okie dokie.
So let's move on to free talk for a little bit. Just some very, very first impressions of Dancing Dragon Castle. I think you said you're at Section 2. I beat Section 2. I don't even think we can... It's either you can play the section after that, or it's Section 3 or Section 4 is locked right now and won't unlock for, like, another hour and 15. So,
yeah, So
very early impressions.
No. And, let's see, what you got knocked here?
I just scribbled a couple of things down real quick.
Yeah, same. I did not realize this was a tanbata event, so I can see why it was, July originally. Got some, cool history facts, TM, about, the Tanbata Festival and its origins. I did not actually know that it actually originated in, Chinese mythology, which I was like, rad.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, but it tracks, because, ancient China also did a lot with, like, star charts and observations. They totally would have noticed those 2 stars.
Yeah. It's like the legend, seemed to mostly stay the same, though, in transit, so I think that's cool. But, as usual, minute singularity, and, it's in Japan, in the, Nagashino area, around Dejima, and we got 2 people can go with it. It's Waver, and it's Seishonagon. And I have to say, like, Waver is great because he is the ultimate straight man. This man does not tell jokes. He only retorts, sometimes very loudly, and, Sei is nothing but just throwing out lines, and then Waver retorting. So I'm like, yes, no, this comedy, peak.
No, it's like, I'm pretty sure it's the classic bookend Tsukome type shit. Like,
Oh, it is. These
Sei
two are definitely
is
a Monzai
nothing
routine.
but the Joker, and Waver
Yes.
is the absolute straight man. Like, he, as you said, will not crack a joke, like, ever. He is far too overworked for that. The joke note I wrote down is like, because he, starts the whole thing in his normal Ascension sprite. Nagiko is why Waver still smoked as a servant.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he has to deal with this shit. Like, Nagiko hits him with the fucking, Big Ben London Star! And he's just like, what did you learn about that? Who told you? Like, digging up old school stuff. And I do love that, like, Sei is, like, a compulsive nicknamer. Like, she can't not give a cute nickname. She is thinking about how she is going to say your name as if she was typing it into a flip phone. And then, decides on, like, Meloki for Waver as El Meloy. And I like how he's like, call me El Meloy. You can call me too, but if you forget, that's not a problem. It's weird if you call me Zhuge Liang, because, hey, guess what? Sei Shonagon, huge fan of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Wacky wild, I know. Also, good bit with Murasaki where she, actually gets to lay some poetry on us and talk about how they celebrated, Tanbata even in her time. But yeah, there's a little, wish trees. We get to see, actually, I was going to mention that earlier when we were talking about servants from year one who did get costumes. We get to see Emiya in summer. He's being very, very casual, very comfy.
He's in hella dad mode, though.
Yeah.
Literally going to a singularity to fish tuna and stuff for, Tanbata Festival.
And you can even be like,
thanks,
okay,
Mom.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. No wonder this guy's going to score very high in the Mom event later.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the exact same thing.
But no, it's a great fit for him to hang out, with turning on from the kitchen crew. Of course, we've got Murasaki and Sei in an event, so we have to throw out a little Domon mention, which is that he's hung a curse up on the little wish tree. Can't help himself. Get that shit out of there. But yes, then we actually go to the minute singularity, and things get a little freaky-deaky. Sei is thrown into probably her most ridiculous ascension, her brightest colors, or perhaps it's the ascension where she looks most like a piece of candy.
She does look like a piece of candy.
So I can only think of, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Waver gets put in his younger block, which of course, just Sei has so much fun with. But we're confused as fuck. We're trying to figure out what's going on. The town's dead. It's because everybody's in Dejima. What's going on in Dejima? It's full of foreigners experiencing Japanese culture.
Yeah!
Which is kind of what Dejima was like, but very different, right? It's way more enthusiastic in the singularity. Actively different groups of people walking around. But there's also this thing going on that I still don't get, but it is kind of funny. The sharks return, but they're all claiming they're crocs. And they're ending all their statements with croc. Gotta make some new dumplings, croc. We'll get them, croc. And I'm like, I don't get it, but okay, man. Whatever floats your boat, Shark Croc.
Shark Croc.
But yeah, we are a little astonished. We run into some helpful history people. There's a German sideburns man. There's a baby. There's a lady. They all have NPC designs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Talking about NPC jail, I don't know if these people are historically significant enough to actually be servants, but they are real-life history people.
Yeah. Probably might best be phantom spirits. I don't know.
I mean, that does come up a little later because, we do meet our two best friends pretty fast. We run into Chikagi first, making dumplings, dressed as a waitress, but Nagiko is like, Master, Maido. Her senses are tingling. But no, she's not a maid, she's a waitress. But, there's some scuffle, there's a mysterious extra voice that speaks. You kind of, I think, capture the character vibes, and then once Hibiki shows up, it's kind of like, you can see the duo, One of them's upbeat and positive, the other one's kind of, not exactly a downer, but Chikagi's more, withdrawn, a little rough around the edges kind of a thing. But they make a good duo. There's a trio in there. Anyway, we punch a crocodile, so there's an evil Gamera.
Yeah. Big turtle.
Snapping turtle. Yeah, big-ass turtle. Knocks us all out, takes us to the Dragon Palace. Apparently the Dragon Palace is in the fucking harbor.
It's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, Waver cottons on pretty quickly to if the Dragon Palace was actually in Dejima Harbor, I think people would have fucking noticed. But that's like a great moment where we kind of like go through this whole dungeon sequence and explain everything, reasoning it all out, and it's like, yes, what can we do? Oh, well, we've been summoned. Who's in charge of the Dragon Palace? If it's a Dragon Palace, it has to be Otohime, except Otohime Kiyohime. And I will say, like, obviously, Kiyohime's bit, they ran a little strong on, right? Like, that was a very early FGO joke that they really hammered in. I do like, though, that because we kind of have this history with the character, the joke here is almost like, we really can't tell if it's Otohime or it's Kiyohime. Maybe it's both. Maybe they're both a freak. I don't know, man.
I could see it.
Like, it implies that, Otohime has some leftover baggage about, Urashima Taro and all the stuff going back above the waves. But yes, Otohime explicitly is a phantom spirit fused with Kiyohime, hence why Kiyohime has a new costume. You can see it right there front and center. But she's created this dragon palace and all this stuff just for us. Great use of like the caps and like the emphasis on the text speed. Deep shivers down your spine sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a little freaky, but we got to escape. It turns out the duo are, one of them's pretty normal. One of them has a super mode, but we can bust out.
It wouldn't be a nozzle work unless someone had some weird power or they weren't what they actually fucking seemed.
Yeah, no,
I think everyone, I think, not everyone, but at least in every Type Moon work, someone is either has something inside them or is actually something else.
Yeah, no, like I obviously I have done the wanted for Azumi no Isora / Hibiki and Chikagi, and it's like, yeah, no, of fucking course, like, of course Nasu writes all this like extra lore for characters who like did seem to be debuting as like the mascots of their mobile site, for like 5 years, but obviously because it's Type Moon, it's not just that. There's fucking an art book and reference books and lots of drama CDs, all that shit.
I wish we had more drama CD culture over here in the West, honestly. I like drama CDs. They're fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I know there's like a couple of companies that do audio dramas and stuff every once in a while. Like, I know there are a few 40K books that are like in audio drama format, for instance, but it's not very popular, and that is a little bit of a shame. Obviously, I get for translating them, that's like tricky because it is, you got to get multiple voice actors in over to basically, re-record the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's still like they are very important and very popular in Japan, so like you can miss out on a lot of stuff that way. Yeah, but yeah, no, if you don't know the Cliff Notes version, obviously go watch Wanted. I discuss most of the stuff that's relevant outside FGO. There's a whole lot of other FGO shit also going on with like the Third Ascension and all that other stuff that like I'm just in the episode I'm like, I don't have time for that.
You got time for that.
The event's gonna start. Play the damn event, okay? The Ascension's locked until you complete the epilogue anyway. Don't at me. Come back later. That wasn't really like a hard one to write, though, as was actually a little later is brought up directly in the story, because Azumi no Isora gets like introduced in the story. Like Waver and Seishonagon directly talk about how like Isora doesn't appear in the Kojiki or the Nihon Shoki, the like original primary sources for Shinto mythology, but the Taiheki is like the more common depiction of a lot of stuff. And actually, because I had some questions that I had trouble finding primary sources on, somebody wrote a very long comment on the Wanted, talking about why, like what sources a lot of Azumi no Isora legends get rolled into the Hachiman cult, because it's related to the history of a lot of Hachiman shrines and origins going on with like Empress Jingu, which is one of Isora's most famous myths.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Azumi no Isora is an important deity to the Azumi people of northern Kyushu, which is the region we're in and around right now. Also, the region around Tsushima Island. And there is actually that is one of the, I forgot because it's been so many years, but that is actually one of the charms you can get in Ghost of Tsushima, is you can get the Azumi no Isora.
Oh, okay.
Charm. But yeah, no, it's that I think also is part of the integration with Hachiman, is because of the loss of the Mongols at Tsushima Island, because that's right in Isora's wheelhouse. But yeah, like there's a lot going on there that like it was a very important deity for a culture, but obviously was not part of like the major mythological religious folkloric canon. So it's kind of interesting to see them overlap. But that is separate. That's related to future stuff in the event story. But yeah, no, Nasu, of course, went ham of just like, no, literally, Chikagi is like a perfectly ordinary, first-year high schooler. She has a complex about her older sister who's perfect. Sounds like a perfectly normal slice of life, character. Then you talk about Hibiki Hibino, and it's like, that's the fucking, somebody I used to know, Agnes Day, mix-up, mashup theme as just like, lore of the entire everything is played. I think at some point, it might be in the bit you haven't gotten to yet, but there's a story scene where they just show Waver in stunned silence with space behind him. As like he's trying, because obviously it's, El Meloy 2 Waver. He is trying to understand what the fuck he's just been explained. And he's like, damn, this shit sucks. I thought by being a servant I didn't have to deal with this shit anymore. But yeah, like there's a whole thing going on. If you guys don't know, I forgot the Japanese name for it, but Magician's Box is not just the name of the website and like a story. That's also the name for some stuff that Zeltrich make. The only one of which we know is Cafe Arabe, which is like a cafe that crosses over, that worlds cross over in. So Nasu wrote a space where explicitly his worlds that can't cross over can cross over.
Yeah.
So like they're in normal continuity, they're waitresses there like part-time. So like, yeah, there's like a lot of weird shit that Nasu gets into, but
that's the cafe that you see in
Carnival Phantasm, yeah.
Carnival Phantasm, excuse me, yes.
And I believe Chikagi and Hibiki are in the background of that in Carnival Phantasm in a couple shots.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like it's just one of those things where like you said earlier, they're not like unheard of. Hopefully I didn't do them too dirty by my intro audio was playing the literal Kazoo Kid. Wait a minute. Who are you? But they are fairly obscure, so like they do a good showing so far. Like I like them. They've got the good, duo combo going on.
Yeah. They are also a manzai comedy duo.
Yes. Definitely I feel like in a slightly less extreme vibe to like what's going on with Waver and Sei. But you have the added jokes though later in that also Mr. Smartphone is there and like Chikagi is violent to him. This is true to the original when it was Mr. Cellphone. Except Mr. Cellphone is probably a connection to the dead apostle that made Hibiki, whose name is... that one is Kubak Alcatraz, who is a phone, I think, now. Like, I think that vampire is just phones now, or maybe a padlock. That's okay, there's a dead apostle that's a forest, so... Once again, Nasu's vampires are, like, really fucking weird.
Vampires are supposed to be kind of weird, in my opinion.
It's true. It's just that, like, Nasu takes the, like, what is a vampire question and just goes, a vampire is whatever the fuck I say it is. Deal with it.
I mean, I'm gonna be fair. That's what everyone does.
That is actually true. I just feel like a lot of authors, like, they still limit themselves to, like, some boundaries of just sense. Where they're like, well, vampires can be anything, but, like, I'm still gonna play to the hits, we're gonna suck blood, we're gonna have a big cape, that kind of thing. Maybe get burned by the sun. Ooh. Nasu's like, nah, fuck you. I bet there's a dead apostle who's a vampire. Like, even without Lost Belt 7 stuff, I bet there's a dinosaur vampire out there. There's trees. There's, like I said, I think Kubak Alcatraz is just like a padlock, or again, is a phone. Technically, I forgot this also, but Alcatraz is in Strange Fake. When Zeltrich is talking to a phone in, like, episode 0, I think it is.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah, that's Alcatraz on the other end.
Oh, okay.
So, like, Kubak Alcatraz is a weird character I found where just, like, he's kind of, like, everywhere but nowhere because he's not actually physically present. He's just, like, around or his creations are referenced. He built the labyrinth from Fate/Labyrinth. So,
he's just
like,
out here doing stuff.
Yeah, he's just making things. But yeah, no, so far the event story is pretty interesting. I have noted a couple of, like, really interesting, again, production value jumps. There's a really interesting transition that ended a segment that I just got to, which I think is, again, a little after where you are. Like, that's the next pip or the pip after. But yeah, like, they do a couple of cool things, and, like, it's interesting. I'll, we'll keep at it. Like I said, it's another event where I don't feel like I heard a lot about it. Like, I heard, some people kind of, like, even in the JP fandom just be like, who are the characters? Because, like both as I said before, both the Hibiki and Chikage angle, like, those are a little more obscure for Type Moon, because the Magician's Box website, like, went defunct in, like, 2014. And also, like, if you're not from Kyushu, you might not have heard of Azumi no Isora. You know, like, it's one of them things.
No, but like I said, the event is interesting. Like I said, I don't have any strong feelings so far, but the writing doesn't seem atrocious.
It's a little more of the comedic beats, but that's okay.
Yeah. But that's all I have on the new event. Like I said, it just started. Maintenance was literally last night.
No, it's very early. Like I said, we're still about an hour from the first time gate hitting.
Yeah.
So we'll presumably have more thoughts next time. That means we'll probably be able to access the epilogue by next show. I think that'll be the right timing. I'm not 100% sure though. Anyway, yeah, we'll have more to say. Blah, blah, blah. Well, let's if there's no more to say about FGO. Sorry, scratching my neck.
I think so.
Scrunkling my neck. Then let's do a little what's up, and then we'll scooch on out of here, and Lucky can go take a nap.
Actually, I'm waking up.
It's the coffee. You're juicing up.
I'm juicing.
Well then, I got a couple of things, and these can kind of go in either order, but I joked earlier about it, but we did kind of get pseudo E3 this year because everybody did have something. There was Summer Games Fest. There was State of Play from PlayStation, and then there was an Xbox showcase and a Nintendo Direct. We talked a little bit about the Xbox showcase on Monday with Okami, mostly to just talk about, like, the P6 trailer is kind of nothing.
It's kind of nothing.
Actually, no, I'll say this. It's mostly nothing. It's green. That's about it.
Green mode.
The Nintendo Direct to talk about that, and, like, that's where we got on the Kingdom Hearts 4 discussion. The Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer is kind of nothing.
It's
green
like
stuff.
No, like, I watched the trailer, and while they did have some, like, new animations in there, I'm looking at it and it's like, man, this makes me just think it's like some sort of gameplay tech demo when I look at it. I don't actually understand anything going on here. We got some pictures of some new characters, we got some lines, we got some dialogues for it, but other than that, I'm just like, But, what is important, though, is that it is confirmation that it still exists, so people can please shut up about it.
It is true that, I mean, I obviously kind of thought that, like, because Square Enix has been shifting to this multi-platform strategy, they have literally been moving towards it over the past, like, couple of years. I wasn't actually expecting any major Square Enix news at PlayStation, you know? Like, maybe we can throw some bones and some stuff, but it's not really necessary, especially because PlayStation has had first dibs on a lot of stuff. Not to say that they aren't still doing some Square Enix related stuff. Final Fantasy 16 is going to be one of the PS Plus games this month for extra, which is pretty cool if you haven't played it. Like, if you have not played 16 on your PlayStation, if you pay for PS Plus Extra, which I heartily recommend. Like I said, that's like the number one. What's the reverse of killer of my backlog? Like it
propagating.
Yes, it only adds to enhances my backlog is PS Plus of just like, oh man, holy shit, there's games in there. Like, my other thing to talk about is Star Wars Outlaws, so like we'll come back to this, but like if you don't got it, check it out. Like, I love getting good games in PS Plus, but also there are times when they show me the PS Plus games and I'm just like, woo, wipes brow. Thank God I don't have to care about any of these games. My backlog is safe. It won't get any bigger. Or any smaller either, but that's a different discussion. So, like, yeah. But I know that there was some discussion, like, after Summer Games Fest where FF7 Revelation hit, where they were like, okay, that was pretty cool, but, like, are we gonna get more Kingdom Hearts 4 news? And we did at Nintendo Direct, because they are, again, multi-platforming. They are actually, now that Switch 2 exists, gonna bring forth we talked about it, they're gonna do, like, a new updated version of the all-in-one bundle.
Yeah.
Which will include, PlayStation, Steam, which is important as well because they were exclusive to Epic for a while, Xbox and Switch 2, so, like, you can get all of those. It is a little, like, sad that previously on Switch 1, I believe, they had a cloud gaming scheme for Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3 bundles, which is, like, you are losing access to now that they are making the new versions, and this is kind of why cloud gaming sucks butts. It could have been cool, but we didn't really lock it in. But yeah, the trailer for KH4 is like super early. It's another thing that like I see, clips on Twitter or posts on Twitter or like clips in my YouTube recommends, which are just like all kinds of different people kind of being like, Kingdom Hearts 4, I can't believe it. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like a little too like any game that's already been announced once, like I expect it already. They already did a Kingdom Hearts 4 like announcement trailer. They were making a fourth one. I'm glad that like you said they did do another trailer to kind of like extend the deadline of people talking about stuff, and like they did seem to have, a few more character models. They had a few new animations in there. Like they had a little bit more different gameplay, but it was mostly kind of in the same vein that they showed in the first announcement.
Yeah.
If the final version of the gameplay keeps up the energy that's in these trailers, I definitely still want to play it for the gameplay, just because it kind of looks like we're going back towards the KH2 kind of gameplay, and something that I talked about in that long discussion we had on the 14 stream, because we were just mining and crafting, and helping out Taquito. But,
Taquito.
like, I did sit down and at least attempt to replay all the playable games in the collection before KH3 came out. I didn't finish Chain of Memories because, honestly, Chain of Memories is kind of a bad port.
The JVA one is very good. I'm so
transitioning it to 3D really fucked the balance of the fighting in a lot of ways, and like made it harder than it needed to be. And it is just kind of a grindy game, which is like weird to be playing the console version. Like when it's a GBA and like you're just catching it like a snippets at a time, it's not as big of a deal. But like sitting down to do nothing but grind Chain of Memories, it's rough. I've beaten it before. I didn't need to rebeat it, but like that's the one I didn't finish. But like gameplay wise, because like I said, I found the boss fights a little tougher. But then again, some of the Kingdom Hearts fandom are freaks who are like, no, we like harder bosses. I guess that like some of the 3D limitations, you can get a little more cheese based for the other side of the coin. But no, like I said, I played all those games. My general consensus is that Kingdom Hearts 2 is the game that like is the coolest and most fun to play. Birth by Sleep is also pretty cool and does have Fortune Street built into it. But like the gameplay for me really peaked in 2, and like 3 did not hit the same way that 2 did.
It really
this
did
is a
not.
fact. Yeah, no, 2 final mix is like real good. They even added a couple of they added several boss fights that are really cool. Like actually, like at some point, once again, we'll run through a Kingdom Hearts one, but I definitely would have to make that like some kind of like crowdfunding goal, because that will be the most demonetized stream series of all time. Both Square Enix and Disney crawling at my ass. But the final mix stuff they did add to 2 is like really cool. Like that where there was just the Roxas flashback in the original Kingdom Hearts 2 is now a full Roxas battle in your mind window, and like that's a pretty cool fight that like is actually like really fun to be part of the pace. Like they made some improvements to that game that are really nice. And just I really like drives and I really like drive abilities. Okay, chat? It's I'm a simple man. But yeah, like it 4 looks like it's going in that direction with gameplay, so if it keeps that up, I will still be interested. But like I was like a lot of people who played 3, and like I had a better time than Lucky did because I did do the sit through like right before. So
Yeah.
I was like loosely familiar with all the concepts, even if I have my own beef with them. I've said before, as much as I know that somebody's favorite KH game is Dream Grip Distance, wasn't my most favoriteest time. I will say this for KH 1, 2, and 3. I'm glad that our numbered KHs don't have the multi-protagonist story shit, because like sometimes that shit sucks.
Honestly, I think there's very few games that I think are good with multiple protagonists. Like
I think Birth by Sleep probably did it the best, because like in story each character sets out at a slightly different time. So when you do play them all, you do kind of get everybody's like POV of events as they keep missing each other, because that's kind of the tragedy of the prequel. But like, nah, man, just being like dodging back and forth between Sora and Riku, because like it turns out that like I was almost gonna say Sora is a dumbass, but it's actually not his fault. They're trying to nord him, but like Sora fucking missed and went one level too deep in their sleeping worlds shit, and so just like Riku has to find his tired ass and bail him out again. It's just like, okay, guys, this just means I'm doing worlds again over and over again. with like a weird Pokemon mechanic added in that I know I ain't seeing this shit again ever. Yeah, no, the DDD thing is like it's the story like bounces back and forth. It's a little tedious. They tried to have some harder hitting worlds, but it was a little odd. The Tron Legacy world in Dream Drop Distance, weird. After regular Tron was an odd one. They did though have a Hunchback of Notre Dame level, which was like that was a little bit more of a serious punch up to include Judge Frollo in Kingdom Hearts, where you can tell that motherfucker is real close to calling Sora a slur. Which is that is Judge Frollo's vibe, so that's okay. Like there were some different there were a couple of interesting worlds and a couple of interesting hitters, but there was also some weird stuff and some non-starters for me. But yeah, no, like gameplay wise, like I hope for is a cutback. But I believe in the Nintendo Direct there was another Square Enix announcement that is also really cool.
Yeah.
Which is
Final Fantasy Resonance.
Yes. Resonance, which is, I believe, being billed as the first official Final Fantasy in, like, non-remake Final Fantasy in 2D HD.
Yes.
And if you don't know the whole story, Resonance it's a 2D HD. It's going to be turn-based. It's sprite-based. So again, like, if you're one of those people complaining about, Final Fantasy, getting too far away from its roots.
Buy this game or shut up.
Yeah, it's nut up or shut up time. You gotta shit or get off the pot, like, this is the game you've been asking for. And it is also another thing that people have been asking for, because it is not a offline version, but it is effectively a remake of, I believe it's Brave Exvius?
Yes.
The now discontinued mobile game. So, they did bring this up. They've actually said this in some interviews. This is not a case where they're just putting out the single-player offline version of Brave Exvius. They actually said that they started developing this while Exvius was still online, and they were like, maybe we want a version of this that's, like, prepackaged for, home release.
Yeah.
And that's what they're aiming for,
excited.
and that's cool, actually, yeah. No,
that's exactly what I wanted.
Yes, no, that's, like, really neat of them to do this. Like, it's got, like, they got the original writer back to rewrite the script to fit it. They've got the composer back to make, like, a bunch of new music and to remix old music. Which I've heard the Exvius soundtrack's really good, so that's a solid one. They are going to include some of the, like, cameos and character summons, but there's no gacha, like, it's all just links to part of the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like, to say it's a departure is not quite correct, because obviously it's based on something that Square Enix did previously, but this is a really interesting thing to see out of Square Enix to, like, try and win back the crowd, kind of like they're trying to broaden their audience appeal.
Well, I think that's one of the things that Square Enix has been, working on is getting back their audience, because audiences are fucking fickle.
Yeah.
And while Square Enix has been pulling in big numbers, it has not been pulling in enough big numbers to justify the cost they have for some of these games. Like, this is the thing, like, I always want to tell people, like, it's not that Square Enix doesn't sell games, it's that they spend too much money making games.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that Final Fantasy Resonance, had a lower development cost and will sell fucking gangbusters. And hopefully, like, give people some faith back in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, like, obviously, you and I liked 16, but it was, like, their first, like, not first real-time, but, like, their first full-blown, like, no, this is a character action RPG, for sure.
Yeah, I'm about to say action RPG, yeah.
Like, 15 had more of the real-time action stuff, but it was... Well, first of all, it wasn't designed by, the guys who made DMC. Capcom and Square Enix are, like, not quite a circle, but, like, they're very heavily interconnected, There's, like, ex-Monhun guys working on, the 7 remake trilogy. There's ex-DMC guys who worked on 16, shit like that. Like, they've got some funny crossover. And Tifa's gonna be in Street Fighter. But, like, it was definitely focused, and, like, I know Yoshipi has talked about how, like, as kind of, like, the producer of that game, he was like, yeah, we had to make some like, tough gaming decisions. Like, if we had a chance to do it over, we would probably have done more with certain characters. Like, there would have been even more Jill and, like, playable Jill, for instance, and stuff like that. But, they had a pretty long dev cycle. The team was technically split as CS3 with 14, so there were limits on what they could do. Like, even with that, and as Lucky brought up, AAA, big-ass HD, big-ass video games are expensive. Arguably, like, they cut costs by, like, going for, like, Ben Starr as, like, a young up-and-comer as the main protagonist, you know, right? Like...
And that was a diamond in the rough. Good job, Square.
Oh, great pull. And, you know, Ben seems to really like working with him. They keep bringing him back for stuff.
Them having him and Matt Mercer in the same commercial was amazing.
No, that's great. Also, actually, shout out to Matt Mercer as well. You know, we talked about it a little, but, like, you can tell he's a big fan. Like, in addition to, yes, he has his own very successful voice acting career and his own very successful side gig. I actually realized before we started the show that I missed that they've started releasing episodes of the the final season of Legend of Vox Machina. There's like 6 of those fuckers out on Amazon, and I'm like, shit, I'm behind. But, like, you can tell that he's a big fan of these games, so he was super jazzed to be Vincent Valentine.
I remember they surprised him. I heard the story that they surprised him with the role that he got. He was thinking he was going to do something else, and they just like, nah. Square Enix seems like, no, I'm thinking about... Square Enix seems to have good, like, people relations. I'm starting to think.
Yeah, I think they do. Like, I didn't see him a lot for previous press tours, but, like, I saw a lot of Hamaguchi, the director for 7R, like, on Twitter after he showed up in person to drop the Revelation news. Like, apparently people are joking that he likes to come to LA to do assignments so he can get Five Guys. like there are a lot of social media posts when he's in town of him getting a burger, you know, burger and fries. But it's that kind of, like, down to earth approachability sort of thing, and, like, we even saw that with the 14 Fan Fest, right? The new CEO came out and basically said, hey, Yoshipi talked to me in a hallway and he says he needs more money. I'm giving him as much money as he needs, guys. I've heard you. This guy needs more money or we're gonna fucking explode. He's got all the support we can give. Like, he had to come up on stage in English and say that to people, and it's like, no, that's good PR. Like, that's good relations to understand. So, like, yeah, no, that's good to see out of them, and I think they have good relations, and, like, that makes Matt Mercer, like, a really good, you know, spokesman for, like, because he is a very experienced voice actor who has good, you know, theater voice. You know, he's been doing Critical Role where for, like, 3 whole campaigns over 100 episodes, he was the game master, so he's pretty good at narrating, so you can put his, you know, VO over trailers. It's a good fit. And honestly, like, it's very sad that, like, you know, conflicts came up and Sephiroth's VA is not going to return for the 3rd one, but I'm sure Travis Willingham will knock it out of the park. Like, I know, I saw some people trying to be like, he only got this job because he's best buds with that Mercer. No, you don't understand. Travis is also an old school big name voice actor. Like, Roy Mustang? Hello? He's got roles. Also, I do believe that he played Superman in a video game, which means that that's an ongoing joke that Sephiroths are Superman. It's very funny.
I can see it.
No, so, like, Resonance looking really good. That's much more tangible to be excited about. Do we have a window for that, that's
that releasing on all platforms, right?
Yes, that is multiplat. Like,
okay.
Nintendo snagged the trailer probably because this is part of Square Enix's, you know, multi-platform emphasis to be like, hey, you would expect this to be, you know, on Steam, on PS5, on Xbox, but no, we are also on Switch too.
Honestly, no, I'm actually the opposite of that. I think, like, Square likes putting, like, the 2D stuff on the Switch, because that's, you know, Octopath Traveler, that was Triangle Strategy.
True. Yeah, they have had a history of putting their 2D games out on the Switch.
Bravely Default, like Square has always, like, put a lot on Nintendo. They just don't usually put their big stuff on Nintendo.
And like, because honestly, that's not Square's fault. It's because Nintendo consoles have been underjuiced until the Switch 2.
Yeah.
As we saw when we were discussing earlier, where, like, yeah, they had to put the PS4 game Kingdom Hearts 3 on the cloud for Switch 1. Like, it did not have enough gas otherwise. Now it's got enough gas. So yeah, actually, you're right. I think the Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement was them emphasizing, like, hey, we are putting all of our previous titles on Switch 2, and the next title is also coming to Switch 2. We're multi-platform. Resonance being at a Nintendo debut is, like, not actually that weird. Now, October 22 is not a good time for me.
No, I've been staring at, you know, our pre-GTA list. I'm all like, God, which ones do I want to play?
It's nasty.
Yeah, I'm not
looking at it like it's. I think the way it works is August, Metal Gear Solid.
Yes,
gotta get Metal Gear Solid. Like I said, we've freed Metal Gear Solid 4 from the PS3. That's crazy. I need to support this financially. I want that to be fiscally successful. But then we get to September, the hell month, and it's like, that's a real pick and chooser. I think if I can swing it, that's gotta be Control.
Control is a very strong contender, especially, like, after Alan Wake 2, oh, God, no, I want to see what they do.
Well, and, like, once again, they're doing even more media and stuff. Like, they've explicitly started this concept of, like, the soundtrack is the character Zoe's mixtape, and they already have, like, you know, Finnish ethno-pop on there and all that stuff, and I'm like, damn, okay. Like, no, they're bringing the vibes, alright? Like, that's pretty sick. Unfortunately, like, my October's very nasty, because they've confirmed Castlevania. I mean, we all knew it was going to be October, but they've confirmed it's October. I think it's like October 15th or 14th or something. But I believe I am contractually obligated to pre-order Ace Combat 8, because they have said, I've brought this up I think on previous shows, but they have said that the AC0 port is only going to be for the pre-order for now. Like, there's no plans to offer that as a standalone, which I think is a little crazy of Project Aces and Bandit Namco, but, like, that does mean that I'm like, well, that does take it to a probable lock-in, and that's, like, right at the start of October. I will not be pre-ordering the double deluxe edition so I can get it, like, 4 days early. That's a little too rich for my blood. I don't need it to get it 4 days early. I need it to be October, but, yeah, Resonance also being October, that's a little crazy. Like, I think like Resonance or Castlevania will end up being my November video game rather than GTA. But also my November video game is, I am actually interested in Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee remake or remaster. Like, first of all, shout out to Godzilla for having the fucking balls to be like, no, November. We're a November release. We understand that we are a completely different market share from GTA 6, and guess what? That market share is me. I played that motherfucking game. I also think it's only going to be like $30 or $40 too. Like, they understand the price pointing. But yeah, no, the games are crazy because September's like fucking stupid.
I'm super hoping GTA gets delayed just so we can say that Godzilla scared off GTA. I need this to be true. I mean,
listen, I will say this. You didn't see any fucking GTA trailers all week.
Nope.
You didn't see nothing. They haven't said nothing. Obviously, like, Rockstar is kind of like, has in previous press statements kind of been like, only been giving news when absolutely necessary. Like, getting info out of them has been like pulling teeth. But it is still, it makes me suspicious. I'm like, I don't know if this video game's actually coming out. Cause again, like, the last time they said something was like, they had no gameplay, it was all cinematics. And like swooping drone shots of their environments. So like, I don't know if that video game's real. It's like, we're like 6 months for it's coming out. Technically 5, I think, actually. And like, nothing. Whatchamacallit, FF7R, like, that comes out in like probably March. And we have more footage of that game's gameplay than we have of GTA 6. It does also help, I will say, shout out to Square Enix, and I really hope they keep this momentum going. But Hamaguchi has said that they kept like 80 or 90% of the same staff from Rebirth for Revelation, which is like why they're able to turn around these games so fast, guys. That's actually it. Like, when you get like unit cohesion and you keep all the same teams on the same project and like they all know the tools and their workflow's all the same, turns out they can do pretty good. Hope they get to keep
honestly,
that
I think that's probably like one of the things I talked about was one of the problems with Kingdom Hearts is because I don't think they kept the same people on those teams. Like, maybe it's like
no, definitely. Like, no offense to Square, but like definitely some of those teams had to have been different because some of those have been, you know, mobile side titles, right? Like the team that made the original non-re Chain of Memories, like that was a GBA 2D sprite game, right? Like that would have needed a completely different art team from the team that was presumably making Kingdom Hearts 2 back in the day. Yeah. So like they you know have to have had different squads on that at different points. And I don't actually know. Like, I think technically that unit, which is part of the reason why KH4 has also been having such delays, I think that still might be the same unit as the 7 team, like what ended up being the 7 team. Because originally, Square wasn't even going to do the 7 remake. They were going to have it done by CyberConnect, but they did like a year of dev and like wasn't really gelling, so they took it back over. And I know that Nomura is involved in the 7 process, not just in, like, because he was a character designer and a major honcho at Square now, like he's a major producer, but also like they he's worked on previous 7 titles, so they quiz him about lore stuff, and like he does writing, producing. Probably did some of the character design stuff, but yeah, that's like definitely I think why Kingdom Hearts makes such big swings. That and like the elephant in the room is like how involved Disney is as a brand. I think the Walt Disney Corporation really changed between say like 2002 or 2003 for the first Kingdom Hearts, and like when was KH3? 2017, 2019?
Honestly, Disney got weird after the Marvel acquisition. It got really weird.
They got real. The MCU swing was like crazy style, like they got such huge cultural sachet, and then kind of petered it out, kind of ran it into the ground, and like haven't been able to recapture that sauce exactly. And like they de-sauced Star Wars. Like the sequel trilogy did not have the juice. This is just like known, which is like. It's a little wild to me because, like I said, I want to talk a little bit about Outlaws. I've made it off Toshara,
mm-hmm.
And the place that ND5 told me to go was Kajimi, which is actually from Last Skywalker.
Is Kajimi in Last Skywalker?
Yeah, that's Poe Goes to the Ice Planet. That's where Babu Frick is.
Oh,
but it's just like a random like for probably like what 15 minutes in the film, some shit. So like. It's, just a flash, a blink and you'll miss it kind of set piece. Whereas,
that's why I don't remember it.
Outlaws is, like, definitely building it up as, the Snowy Mountain Japan place, but with bug samurai.
I do. I was like, I love this, it's like, I love this vibe.
No, and they got, like, the round gates and windows, the walls. They have the thermal district with fucking hot springs. The Ashiga are definitely, like, got some weird like feudal vibes. Like I'm like, nah, this is good. Somebody remembered where Star Wars comes from and watched some samurai movies for this shit.
How do you feel about ant-based samurai? Here you go. Oh no, but I have also made a Kajimi, and I was like, I dig the aesthetic, but I am personally dying inside over my initial interaction with the Ashiga clan. They roll up to KVS and it's like, we think you're with the Crimson Dawn. My KVS is like, me, Crimson Dawn.
I kind of peered out a little, chat. Oh, yeah, I'm going down. Hold on. My internet held out all night for like 2 hours, and it decided to die a little bit. We'll be back in Discord in a second. Oh, right. Sorry, I just tried to Google something, and my fucking internet wasn't back. That's dumb of me, chat. To hear it cut out mid-talk, you were like, in the middle of being like, KVS being like, me, Crimson Dawn? No! And then just kind of like glitched out a little at the end there.
Yes, but I was mentioning that my KVS was in the excellent reputation Crimson Dawn armor. At that point, I was like, this takes me out, but it amuses me so much. But if you are off Toshara, that means you have passed a certain point in the story. And I was asking Chad if they were okay with story. And everyone seems to be like okay with it. The game has been out for a while, and well, the internet exists. So
and it's kind of what would I would say? Like Toshara is like if not still the prologue is like. Definitely like the Act 1, right? Like, not the bulk of the stories getting done there.
No, you actually don't have that many missions there. It's just that Star Wars Outlaw is very good at just letting you fuck about. But I was actually, like, not surprised, but kind of surprised at a story decision that we did in Star Wars Outlaw. So, in Star Wars Outlaw, when you crash land on Toshara, you are helped by a mechanic, named Waka, who's all like, oh my god, this is, the Trailblazer and stuff. This is like such a ship. I'm gonna, fix it up and stuff. And, guess what? He betrays you at the end. He gets shot for his trouble, not by you, cause despite KVS being, able to, go toe to toe with 30 stormtroopers, steal a point of fucking Imperial Station, steal the code, steal their bookkeeper, and get the fuck out, she, can't really, fight anyone in a cutscene. It's very strange.
Yes, cutscene guns, very Uncharted. I mean, Waka had the drop on her, so it's like they probably could have done a thing where you like activated adrenaline and got him, but I think the beat of the bounty hunter plugging him in the back because he was planning on just killing you to shortchange it because of the Trailblazer, even though he also ratted you out to I've forgotten the name of the evil syndicate.
I don't know, but. I was
Surface
thinking about
Porpoise.
this, and I was thinking about, no, KFS, you made this situation. Like, I'm not gonna say that Walker was probably any upstorm kind of character. They kind of talk about him like he, has a lot of bad deals behind him. But when you meet him, he's all like, "Oh man, the Trailblazer, it's like such a cool ship. It has so much history." And KVS, every single fucking time, like, it's just a ship. And I'm all like, man, way to harsh this man's buzz.
Yeah, I mean, there is a point where like she does actually show like it. She's like, what could be, so important about this ship? And Waka does kind of like not try to meet her halfway. Then he's just like, you just wouldn't get it. Like, I kind of feel like I want to say like they are both at fault. Like at this point, Waka knows because it's on display in the console in the Trailblazer that like Kves has a huge death mark on her head, right? Like she's probably thinking about more important stuff, but she is also, kind of awkward and prickly, not endearing to Waka and not really trying because she has trust issues.
Yeah, like, at one point when you're on the way back from the Imperial Station after stealing the dude, he's all like, is this guy joining the crew? And KVS is like, we are not a crew. And I'm all like, this is probably the point where Waka says, I'm gonna fucking betray your ass.
Yeah. And I do like that there is a little bridge cutscene later that kind of explains why he is so interested, because it comes out in a villain monologue, which is good. It's good to have, meanwhile, the Legion of Doom. But like we do this cutaway and he's like, do you know the history of, I think it's the ELM or EML
800 series or something like that. I can't remember.
They were my family used to build ships on Corellia, don't you know? Anyway, they're very, very strong, very tough ships, They're great for courier work, great for smuggling. But the problem is very expensive. The Durasteel coating made them much more expensive than other ships in their class. They were discontinued. So now they're all, so basically it's like the equivalent of like a rare car or like a rare aircraft, right? Like they are.
Yeah.
Which also, I'm pretty sure that some of the people who made this game read some RPG source books in their time. Maybe not literally the Fantasy Flight ones, but like may have read some of the old WEG stuff, right? Like they are. No, he said on Corellia, different planet. The Kuati and the Corellians don't get along on that mark. But like that is a backstory straight out of a player character starship model in like Edge of the Empire, right? Like, oh yeah, here's this exclusive limited run model of a ship that like was very expensive, but it's really good at what it does, but it's super modular, so it has a shitload of extra hard points, like, and I'm like, okay, I understand it. It is interesting that like, I know, obviously, like you said, KVS was very dismissive, right?
Yeah.
But also, would it have been so hard for Waka to tell her, like, no, you don't get it. This ship is from a, like, super rare discontinued breed. You will not find another one of these. That's why spare parts are so hard to find, right? Like I said, they kind of talk past each other. Because, as we said, Kay is real insistent in the Toshara act of us not being a crew.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I feel like Waka probably, like, I think if KFS had probably expressed some initial interest in the ship, he might be willing have to gone into it. But like I said, at one point, he's all like, you wouldn't get it. I'm pretty sure, like, Waka has, like, kind of, how do I want to put this? Kind of, written K off. Like, she's someone who's not actually interested, someone who doesn't actually care. And honestly, to be fact, he's right. She doesn't.
Yeah, it's true. She doesn't care yet. Like,
no.
I mean, I'll say it again. This is the semi-spoiler, but like I will still say this: the front act of this game is written very weird and like oddly fast-paced, right? Like, you get Waka sends you to get a rare part in a shipwreck. They have a little bit of reference to the High Republic, which was like a book and comics thing they did not too long ago in the continuity. It would have been relatively fresh while Outlaws was in development, so they like talk about some of that stuff. Has you steal a component. You're ambushed by the evil cartel on the way, and Kay's like, how the fuck did they find me? Did somebody sell me out? And then, when she's getting the piece, Walker shows up and he's like, yes, that's right, Kay, I sold you out because you're gonna get the Trailblazer blown the fuck up because you don't know what you're doing and you don't care about her. You don't care about her like I care about her. So I'm not even gonna get the Deathmark money, I'm just gonna shoot you. And then the bounty hunter that the enemy has sent after you plugs him in the back because, like, he's threatening to shoot her mark, and that's not good because evil bad man, I I don't know why, but I'm like forgetting all the proper names except
It's like
for Kves.
Sparrow or something, I fear.
Sparrow, that's right. Yes, I think that's one of his names. I don't remember if that's his first or last name, but doesn't matter. Sparrow wants her alive because he's like, he is doing the usual like drug cartel bad guy thing of like what is it, like doom spiraling? Like he's just like assuming so much more about Kay and her heist than is true, because he's like, no, you don't understand. They broke into my vault. They stole a prisoner out from my nose. They stole my rare one-of-a-kind ship that I have a little model of in my office, so I clearly care about it. Then it turns out he stole from another guy who was also doing the heist, capital H.
Yeah.
Like, there's all this baggage that he's putting into it. So he wants Kves alive so he can, interrogate the shit out of her. Which is it would be so funny if it happened, because Kves couldn't tell him shit. It would make him so mad.
No, but that's not how bad guys operate. Yeah. But yes, Axe you put it a good way. Kves does auto-fail basically every charisma check she does.
Yeah. No, like, it was like that with the Ashiga. Like, at the end of the plot I got to actually, like, try and find the safecracker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, steal back a little artifact. Yeah, at the end of that, Kay does hand-deliver that to the Ashiga Queen, and, like, she is better, but I think that's literally only because just before that conversation, she gets on her comlink, and she talks to ND5, who, by the way, is a BX commando droid in a trench coat, okay? And I
love him so much.
Oh, I love that guy so much.
I hope we get that fucking restraining bot off of him. I really do.
I saw the camera look at it, but, like, at one point, like, he hasn't been memory wiped since the Clone Wars, I'm pretty sure. At one point, he brings up straight up to Kay's face in, like, ambient dialogue, Kay, I fought in the Separatist War. Like, like, he is the grizzled war veteran, right? Like, that's his kind of character archetype. He's Kay's, new handler and babysitter. And, like, he's kind of, like, over her shit, but also, he could fold her like a pretzel and dunk her like a basketball if the mission requires it. So, like, he doesn't take any of her shit.
No. Because, like we mentioned before, Kay has extreme trust issues. Like, extreme trust, all because her mommy abandoned her.
I mean, like I said, I understand. Like, I'm getting the impression that her mom probably, like, ditched her to go and do a job probably while she was still a kid, right?
Yeah.
And either her dad is dead, or just her mom was such a master of the going for milk technique that she ditched Kay's bio dad. So, like, her support system is really fucked, and I do understand that. But also, damn, the girl takes... again, the game is about Kay learns to trust the squad, and you're just like, oh my god, Kay, just get over it.
Like, you literally, the first trinket you have is a coin that you got from your mom that abandoned you, that you can't let go, and I'm just like, oh, you're slapping me with it! Stop!
And then, what I was gonna say is, when you leave Toshara, like, honestly, the game gives me, like, old school, like, KOTOR vibes, where it's like, hello, we have 3 places you need to go to get the crew for the job. Because, like, Endy bails you out on the shipwreck, and then there's a guy who's just in the Trailblazer who's like, hi, Kves, you've got a terrible death mark. Don't worry, I'm not here to collect on that. I'm actually a fixer. I've got a plan. You see, I want you to break back into Sleero's vault and steal all of his gajillion credits of money.
It's literally the Mr. Joel's just one last job.
Yeah, basically, it's like, either you'll bankrupt him so he can't kill you anymore, or you'll have enough money to retire. I get 50%. You get the other 50% of his, like, 14 million or whatever I think they said. Split with your job ways. I've given ND the list of contacts to get the job done. Anyway, I'm out. Bye. Don't try to betray me, or ND will break all your bones. Bye. Like I said, the pacing when the story decides to move is, like, fast.
No, I don't hate it, but it rests weird upon my body.
Yeah, it's like a thing where, like, it's not bad, but it's noticeable. You are aware that, like, oh wow, that plot point got introduced and is followed through really fast.
Yeah. And so, like, again, like, the story is interesting. I'm interested where the story is. We're pulling off the heist. We're doing Star Wars the heist. I'm like, that's rad. But Kay's bumbling character at the beginning is what's really, really messing up. And I might be getting biased towards, like, with my opinion on her and Waka right now. Because for a lot of the Toshara event, I thought Waka was going to stay on as probably, like, the permanent mechanic. we have a special ass ship, we have the mechanic who knows what the fuck he's doing with it. That seemed, like a great person to have on the team. Until, Kay is literally like, you're not part of the crew. I'm all like, oh man, this dude is gonna fucking try to shoot her in the back. And
to be fair, he tried the front. He was thinking about the front. He had the balls to come down there personally to the wreck, to the dungeon we just crawled through, to be like, Kayves, I'm betraying you and going to shoot you for this reason. Like,
I want you to know why you're gonna die.
I think they tried to set up that, like, again, that I kind of feel like Waka and Kay were always kind of incompatible personalities, because, like, they do introduce him, like, trying to scavenge the wrecked ship, and, like, Kay is initially suspicious of him, and he just goes like, oh, well, I figured out you're alive, so I'm not gonna try and, like, steal from you. And it's like, that's a little weird way to phrase that, Waka. But, as the player probably put it out of your mind because, you've got to go get stuff.
I don't think it's that weird because, remember, one of the main industries in Toshara is the scavenging of ships. They have the giant ship graveyard up in Norway.
They have a big wreck, yeah.
And they have, and they constantly talk about how scavengers are working on the surface. I don't know why Toshara is such a giant space graveyard, though. That's the thing I'm kind of like, what happened here? Actually, I should look that up.
Yeah, we should double check. It might be related to the High Republic stuff, because there's a High Republic era cruiser crashed out there. I don't think it's a Clone Wars thing. Toshara is a moon of a gas giant, so, like, maybe there's, like, some weird gravitational stuff out there. I know that they have, like, a native culture thing going on with, like, the wind farming, and the locals have a lot of beliefs about the wind because there are these really cool wind-carved rock formations. Like, yeah. And of course the Empire is stomping all over it. Like, that's, again, I feel like, Lucky hasn't seen it, but I have, like, I feel like Outlaws was very heavily influenced by, Andor Season 1, because the first couple episodes of Andor are, like, Andor's kind of a fuck-up like Kayves, except his mom is the one of the best characters in that fucking show.
Also, by the way, according to this, fucking Tosharn was an isolated human colony until it was discovered by the Republic in the Clone Wars.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it was Clone Wars shit.
Yeah, like, because, I don't know. It's like, the fucking Wikipedia, the Star Wars fandom stub is very small.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Toshara is original to Outlaws. Like, the other planets they've got are, like, cameos, Canto Bight, obviously, but we've got Kijimi. It's Star Wars, we gotta go to Tatooine.
I mean, we're dealing with the Hutt cartel. I think it makes sense.
Outlaws, I think, is one of the best cases of going to Tatooine, but it's also, like, Endy gives me the list, and it's like, Kijimi, and I'm like, that sounds familiar. Where's that from? I see it's the ice one. I'm like, oh shit, is that ice one from Last Skywalker?
I'm surprised we're not going to Nar Shaddaa. I'm genuinely surprised.
Honestly, it's probably because I don't think in the era they were developing Outlaws, I don't think Disney Star Wars had shown Nar Shaddaa on screen. Like, if this was a Legends era video game, absolutely we would have taken our ass to Nar Shaddaa. I get talking about KOTOR, right? But, like, this is a case of, like, yeah, they haven't shown Nar Shaddaa on screen in a while, so, like, that's one thing I will say again for, like, Disney involvement in Star Wars. They can be very hands-on when they feel like it about depicting things. Like, there is a reason why I think there hasn't been a Bothan on screen since Disney bought out Star Wars, because there's never one on screen on the original trilogy, and George Lucas never actually said what Bothans look like, so technically, like, all the Legends descriptions are just, like, assumptions. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's a weird thing where, like, sometimes they're very finicky about the canon, and sometimes they're a little looser. What is the third planet? I can't remember the name right now, but it sounds vaguely familiar.
Which one?
The third one. There's Tatooine, Kijimi, and is the other one. I haven't been there yet, obviously, but I'm trying to remember the name. Does it start with an E?
Outlaws location. Let's look that up real quick. Star Wars.
And I will say, I do like that they're setting up that, like, you prologue on Canto Bight and you're going to return to Canto Bight for the big score. That's cool. Like, there's parts of this game, like I said, that are very neat. By the way, I do love that there's no reputation system with the Empire. They are just the big bad.
Yeah, you can go start a fight with the Empire any day of the week. You'll be okay. Also, it's Akiva.
Akiva, that's right. Akiva. That's another one that's like, I've heard that name before for sure, but I don't remember from where.
Let me type it into the search. Let's see what we got here. Akiva, Star Wars. Let's see here. As part of the independent systems, after the Battle of Endor. It does. It has a very long history. Let's see here. Audiobooks, Star Wars Outlaw, audiobook.
Ah, okay. It was mentioned in Aftermath, the Aftermath trilogy, a lot. It looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, Akiva first appeared in Aftermath, written by Chuck Wendig. Talks about it being close to certain planets. Okay, all right. So it was like it was a novel book, and like the Aftermath series was not super well received. That was another like weird misstep for Disney Star Wars. They got Chuck Wendig, who was just like a guy who wrote some comics before. Like I don't think he'd done a lot of novels. Okay, no, he said he's previously wrote some Star Wars non-Star Wars novels, but like
Okay.
Okay, so that's interesting that's another case where like that was mentioned in a series of early Disney canon novels, but was not depicted on screen, as it were, until Outlaws. That'll be interesting to go there.
Yeah. But like I was saying, like I didn't go too much from the story because actually I do just kind of putting around on my scooter, doing small jobs, and occasionally finding weird ass shit. Like
no, the gameplay loop of Star Wars Uncharted, but with Ubisoft open world shit is like it's pretty solid.
It's pretty solid. Like I was actually kind of worried that the reputation thing with the four cartels, would actually be more impactful. But you always do jobs. Like ND5, it says like forward business in the underworld to happen. No one can have a grudge. I love ND5's voice, by the way. I need to find that voice actor. It's so
ND5 is great, yes.
Yeah. And it's good. So like even if you get like pretty bad with them, you like the brokers can give you more jobs to get that back up. So if you're temporary on the outs, you can recover from it. You do too bad, you might get death squads in after you, but you can eventually recover from it. So you don't have to necessarily worry too much about pissing off cartels. You can just go do whatever. I have already stolen the vaults from both the Crimson Dawn and the fucking Pikes on Toshara. It got me 10k credits. I was all like, money, baby.
Oh, shit. Okay, I need to go hit those guys up. I'm flying back there now to do some other jobs. I'm like, I should go back there and steal them. I was still, working on my rep, so I didn't want to fuck with them too hard, but it's like,
if you get them both good, it makes it so much easier just to get into places.
Then you just have to worry. Yeah, I've got them still high. And that's another great thing I actually did the mission to steal back the Ashiga relic. Like, first of all, in the room with the relic are hired guns, not Crimson Dawn guys, so, you can get away with a little bit of shooting, and then you do the big escape. I literally plugged a Crimson Dawn Enforcer, and Kay says, "We're still friends, right?" And the answer is yes, actually. Like,
yeah, no.
It's
like, the reputation doesn't hit as hard, but I think it's for its benefit. You can be a lot more wiggly with it.
Yeah.
And,
like, the main thing is that it affects, like, how close you can get before you have to start sneaking, usually. Because there's, like, usually an outer area where if you're poor, the guards will be like, hey, fuck you. But there's always that inner restricted area where, like, no matter how tight you are, they're like, hey, you're still an outsider. You shouldn't fucking be here.
Yeah. Also, I do like playing Sabak. It's a very simple game, but it's fun.
It's technically, that's why they call it Castle Sabak. Like, it's technically not the normal version of Sabak, which is closer to, like, proper blackjack. The goal is to make positive or negative 23. They took a version of Sabak where there was in the classic Legends Sabak, there's a type of hand called the Idiot's Array, where you make exactly, like, 0, with a special card called the Idiot, which is, the Fool. And so Castle Sabak basically took that concept, and it's all about getting that magical 0, baby.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. And I like they gamified something that was also part of the old Sabak lore, which is just, like, it was always supposed to be, like, electronic. Like, I think I got first introduced to Sabak in the Han Solo trilogy by A.C. Crispin, where, hey, guess what? Han Solo plays a lot of Sabak. It's one of the, like, 4 things he said in A New Hope. But it's always been, like, an electronic card game where, like, the values of your cards can randomly change. So, like, they kind of keep that spirit with, like, one, there's literal dice roll cards, but also the I forget what they call it, not the slights. Actually, they might be slights.
It might be slights.
Your little chips. You got your little video game, roguelike chips you can play, which are, like, give you some of that electronic randomness. I like it. I also like that the first cheat they give you is that you can ask Nyx to tell you what everybody's fucking hand is, so you can decide whether or not you need to go big, or if that fucker in the corner has 1/1 already. But no, it's a fun. No, they have, like, fun mini games. Like, Sabak is fun. I don't really see like a reason to do it, but, like, the little arcade shooter's fun.
No, so, like, Outlaws is fun. like, I still have some issues with my weapon selection. K-Vestas really just defaults to a blaster for most things, and I hate that I can't keep my fucking sniper rifle. I despise it. I get like 10 shots and it's gone. I did, like, unlock a path towards the heavy that might, get me more stuff in there. I don't know.
I'm also working on that one. I'm hoping that influences that. There is, like, some... It's a little weird. I wonder if it's, like, a design thing to make it simpler. Like, because, like, it looks like you're going to be able to do some really weird stuff with like, K's blaster modules.
Yeah.
Like after you do the Ashiga clan job, ND will just flag you down and be like, okay, I found a thing on the ship. Here, you can access explosive bolt mode, power mode. Go blow up rocks.
Oh, so that's where I get that.
Yeah,
okay.
no, you get power mode by just progressing the story. But like you can get, the ion mode, like a rapid fire, the normal light mode, power is like an explosive burst. So it's like her pistol is kind of Swiss Army-y, but the fundamental gameplay of pistol shooting is pretty simple, whereas the pickup weapons, you get to have a lot of fun. There's a couple of different snipers. There's the fucking MPL grenade launcher.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. You got several blaster rifles. You got, like, the A100, the E11, There's a lot of fun there, and just the fact that they're temporary just grinds my gears. It's like...
No, especially because, there's absolutely space in the Trailblazer right next to the workbench where you could keep a little rack,
Yeah, it's like, also the way that AK carries the fucking guns just on the small of her back, I'm like, how? What are you doing,
like,
Kay?
I think those models change size, too. Like, she does something to a DLT-20 when she folds that shit up and puts it on her back. Like, those sniper rifles are made in real life from, like, MG-32s. Like, those are aircraft machine guns they greebled up for the movies. Like, they're big, okay?
It's all like, Kay, they should be like, you should have a strap over your shoulder for that. I'm like,
and I get that would fuck with the animation, but, like, I think it would look a lot cooler if she strapped them.
Yeah. So, again, but Blaster is like, combat's not too bad. Like, most guys, you shoot them a few times, they go down. You shoot them in the head like twice, they go down.
Yeah.
So, you can, like, do something. K's survivability is not that great. I'm hoping there's more skills you can get that increases, like, your armor or your stuff, but I feel a lot of times, even if I'm, like, behind cover, I'm still getting winged at points.
Yeah.
And the enemies aren't idiot. They see you crouch behind cover, they'll move around it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I appreciate.
Or, God forbid, if they have grenade launchers or can throw explosives, like, not only will they flank you, but they'll also be like, oh, you're in cover? Boom.
Yeah. So they're not idiots, which I can appreciate. Like I said, stealthing them, stealthing them is kind of hard just because they're not idiots. A lot of them walk in pairs. I'm like, yeah, that's the smart thing.
Pairs, which is like, and like, the way the game is designed, taking out a pair of enemies is a little tricky. Like, you usually have to, like, do a perfectly timed stun shot and immediately go into the takedown.
My preferred way is you send Nyx to grab one of them. Yeah. Because it's great, because he'll just, get in there, you stun shot one, and then melee the second. And as long as you're out of sight at everyone else, that usually does it. But, like, if you're, like... Oh,
like you said, enemies are not dumb. Like, they will run intelligent search patterns. They see a guy knocked out on the floor, and K-Vest can't hide bodies. Solid Snake would be ashamed. Like, this is what I think I understand about them maybe patching to make stealth more resilient. Like, it clearly feels like stealth was supposed to be, like, your appetizer, and, like, you were supposed to get in big fights in big, set piece rooms, but also K is fucking fragile. So it's like, yeah, no, sneaking is important. K should not be fist fighting an entire Imperial garrison. I'll fucking do it, okay? I can. I don't want to.
No, K is a little squishy, which, to be fair, it's fair. She's literally wearing, probably at best, a fucking vest and t-shirt combo.
Like, I mean, again, the first ability you can get that gives you an extra HP bar is, like, armored undershirt. She's wearing Under Armour body. I think I'm at, like, 5-ish HP right now because I've got a vest that gives me +1 HP. Or maybe it's my belt. Yeah, I guess. So, like, there's some clothes that'll do it.
There's some clothes that'll do it. And I think there's other things that reduce damage. I think there's something that reduces damage if you're sprinting.
Yeah, that's one pair of pants I think I've got. There's another pair of pants that, like, always reduces fall damage. Shit like that. Yeah. Like, they've got a decent amount, and your drip is separate. You can glam, which is good.
Oh, how do you glam? I haven't figured that out.
I think it's only from the Trailblazer wardrobe. But
the wardrobe?
I'm pretty sure I saw an option that was like change visual appearance.
Oh, I might do that.
I don't think I've used
I love my
it,
stealth,
yeah.
but I want to change into. I want to get the Kajimi stuff up, so I'm on Kajimi. I'm in fucking cold weather gear.
Yeah, no, like K-Vest looks cold. Like if you're just running around in like shirt sleeves and shit.
No, honestly, no. Playing Outlaws does make me miss, the old Star Wars game. I have already committed that if we ever do pick up another Star Wars, I am playing a fucking droid. Like, because like I said, the story, it's a bit hit or miss. I have hope for it though. That's the important thing. I have hope for it. We are doing an interesting premise. The main character has the potential for growth, which is the important thing. She's a little bit insufferable right now, but you can see where her character arc development, and it just matters if they can nail it at the end. If they can nail it at the end, I'll forgive the beginning. If they don't nail it at the end, well, Ubisoft gets all the name. Yeah. No. But like I said, a lot of the gameplay is fun. Just scooting around, like Kajimi doesn't seem to have like a big open area to run around on your speeder. But Tashara, I love going around Tashara on my speeder bike, especially because the wind cut rocks will actually make like little ramps that you can like drift over.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh god, it's so fun.
And like, so much got added when you can unlock the speeder mechanic, and you can get bike jump, bike boost. Like, you can do fucking tricks on it, chat. Like, it feels good. Like, I will say it has the problem lots of open world games where, like, when you're off your speeder and calling your speeder to you, your speeder sometimes behaves a little weird. Like, sometimes it'll just teleport behind you, other times it will have to cruise up behind you, and it won't, like, stop until it reaches just a little past where you were, kind of a thing. Like, but I'm pretty sure there are, like, entire essays about that for, like, horses and shit in like, Red Dead and games like that. Like, there's a whole psychology to player mounts and, like, having them appear behind you. So, it's not a big deal. But no, it feels pretty good. Space combat's also, like, super simple, but also, like, flying around feels pretty instinctive.
Yeah, no, like, I sometimes mess up hitting my throttle and my brake, just because that's up and down on the on the right stick.
It's not necessarily, like, a standard, like, flight control system.
It's still pretty good. Like, you can do some pretty good, like, you can't, like, honestly, and I do feel like the ship should be a little bit of a tub. Like,
I mean, it's designed to, like, it's been described as, like, a tough, discreet courier, not a, like, agile ship, you know? And, like, Kay doesn't fucking know how to fly this thing. Like,
I love every time you go bump things, Kay will go, sorry, my fault, and ND5 is like, Kay!
ND5 is like, oh my god, if I had an order to fly this ship, I'm pretty sure that he's gonna be your turret gunner whenever you can finally unlock that.
Oh, like, this is the other thing I'm a little bit sad about. I was kind of expecting ND5 to be like accompanying K, like help me shoot dudes. I don't know if that's gonna happen now. He seems to be more like mission control at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he's great, but also there is still, like, again, you talked about the restraining bolt and stuff. There's room for that to grow, or maybe some of the other characters, because, like, it is very clear that K-Vez has that empty spot on her speeder, and, like, Endy is constantly talking about, like, Kay, you're a fucking dumbass. You need support. You need protection. Like, we need to get you, like, a heavy or something with you. You know, like, you need an enforcer. But, you know, I'm stuck on the ship making sure you don't die and get us impounded, you know. So maybe when we get later in the crew, we can either add him to the slot or get somebody else. Because, like, it feels like we got the setup for that, you know?
Yeah, no, I feel like I don't know, we might still be in K's. I can't DB with anybody. Yeah, anyway, because I do want to mention this. After, you know, the Walker thing, you know, K doubled down. It's like, I can't trust anybody. Which, I'm gonna be real, gonna be fair. You just got fucking backstabbed, K. I would have trust issues at that moment as well.
Also, you got backstabbed into, you almost got caught by the people with a death mark on you. If, like, Endy hadn't shown up and, like, handed that cyborg bounty hunter her ass. Like, he almost does the fucking come with me if you want to live. He jumps in with a trench coat, catches her punch, you know, throws her back, and it's like, run. Like,
no.
It's great. I love Endy. He's great.
No, ND5 is so good. But, so no, actually, like, honestly, depending on what people do, I'll probably get back into Star Wars Outlaw, because I think I've done, like, I'm still looking for the last Sabacc game on Fasharon. Because you can actually get some, like, you can get some rep up that way, and you can make a little bit of credits and unlock more stuff, so that's fun. But, I do need to get back to fucking Kajimi and start working that grift. But let's see here. Is there anything else to talk about? We might talk a little bit about Deathwatch. We're only at what, 3 hours? 3 hours and some change? No,
about 2.5.
Oh, we're only at 2.5. We're talking about some other stuff. We're not ending before the 3 hour mark.
We did not run through all the we got sidetracked by Outlaws, which was good because Outlaws is actually like pretty alright. But we were talking about a few different things, and I've got some lists pulled up to talk about some of the stuff that Nintendo and Xbox did mention. So let me see.
Oh, okay. How do we get stuck on Star Wars Outlaws? Where was that transition?
Maybe we were talking about PS Plus.
Oh, I think we were probably talking about PS Plus. Yeah,
just talking about games in the backlog.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, we haven't mentioned it all. Chad has mentioned it, but the big bullet point at Nintendo was Ocarina of Time remake. And they are saying remake, Reborn for Switch 2.
Da Fluten, Rebooten.
So we are taking another crack at it. Honestly, this has been long rumored. I think it was leaked. This is another thing that people are like wondering if it'll be the same time as GTA. Though I could see Nintendo cleaving a little closer to holiday,
Mm-hmm.
Try and encourage you to splurge a little. But honestly, like I see some people like have some like conflict, right, about like, oh, does it look good? Does it look bad? I'm just like, whatever, man. Like, it's Zelda, okay? I don't need there to be an Ocarina remake. It's cool, but like that's you actually had another tweet about this. This isn't the Zelda news that I'm looking for, right?
Yes, no. I had a tweet earlier about me. Because me personally, I am excited about the Ocarina of Time remake. It was I don't want to say it was necessarily a watershed moment for, the 3D, for the N64 and the 3D, but it is something that is near and dear to my heart as someone who loves The Legend of Zelda. But I have beaten it. I know the plays. The game that I truly want, or games, I should say, I truly want are Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And we heard nothing about that.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that's like really, really interesting to think about. Like, I have Concernicus that, they may end up just slamming some of that stuff on their NSO thing.
Oh, I hope not.
But at the same time,
wait, didn't they already put the original Wind Waker on NSO?
Actually, I think they might have, but that's the original point. It's not the HD version because it's not it doesn't have the quality of life, I think. Let me dial back to chat. But yeah, like there's a lot of that console stuff going on, right? Like does Ocarina of Time deserve a remake? Possibly. Like they did do a 3D like update style remake, like with new graphics engine and stuff, but I don't think they really changed anything with the 3DS version. It was just 3DS dependent.
It was just better graphically and a bit smoother. I don't actually remember if they changed anything.
Yeah, I don't think they really changed anything is the thing. Like it was like a lot of those 3DS ports, which is like there was a time period where like because the Wii and the Wii U were weird, they were putting out remakes of classic games on the 3DS. Like they were like the handheld market is booming. That's where we're at. And now they're kind of like in a phase where they're like, okay, well that console has run its course. We need to bring something back. So yeah, like, but even if like a chat even being like, oh, they'll put Twilight Princess and NSO GameCube, I'm like, okay, that's cool, but that's not like the Twilight Princess HD, because you also did an HD remaster of that, and like, I don't remember if they did much to add to it, but I know for a fact the Wind Waker HD, like the Wii U port, had like quality of life in it.
Yeah, it did.
It has like the faster sail to make sailing go by faster. And also, fucked around with a lot of the Triforce maps to make it a lot more smooth with the pieces and the bits and bobs. Like, that's just good. Like, it's one of the things where, like, and that's another thing that's, like, that's why I'm not trepidatious about them doing another Ocarina remake, because it's like, no, like, they understand when they do these things, they make them, like, accessible and flow, and if they're doing a ground-up Reborn, like, there are, cut contents and urban legends about Ocarina of Time, that could be a chance to, like, do some of that shit, right?
Yeah.
Because it is kind of one of their, like, major tentpole releases, but now, like, I think to get it, you gotta You gotta play the NSO for the original N64 version, which, guess what? Those N64 versions are a little janky by modern standards. They're not bad by any means, but Nintendo was cutting their teeth on 3D design. They were the first to ever to do it. There are parts of them that are just rough as a result. Technology has gotten better. News at 11.
Yep.
I know this from when they did the that big anniversary bundle of Mario 3D games. They didn't do the DS port of Mario 64, which had quality of life, and you could play, different player characters and had updated graphics. It was the original 64 version on that collection, and, that game kind of sucks. It's kind of bullshit. Mario 64. Parts of it are very iconic. Parts of it are also well known for how fucking stupid, hard, dumbass they are. Somebody insert a Game Grumps clip of Aaron fucking exploding and dying in, the clock tower level or something. Some of those levels are mean. So, a remake is, as always, there are always going to be people who, when a remake is announced or when it comes out, are like, is this remake needed? Did we need to remake this game? This old game is perfectly fine. And a lot of old games are perfectly fine, but, perfectly fine is not necessarily great,
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I feel about the NSO ports of old games. Yeah, okay, you can get the GameCube version of Twilight Princess, and that is, fine, but, you could get the HD version, that's good. Are you, you can sell me that game, you can technically sell me that game again separately. That would be another major, I have to, go fucking rattle the cages to afford a Switch 2 type shit.
Yeah.
That would get me to lock in.
No. With, the Ocarina of Time remake, I'm definitely shit, I'm gonna have to get me a Switch 2, because I am gonna want to play it. I like playing my Legend of Zeldas. But what I've been holding out for is, my Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, because they're both just so good. I will say, though, I am a little concerned about the art direction that we might be going in Ocarina of Time. Not so much because of, we're going for something more realistic. I mean, we have a lot more power. We can do that. It's just that, I don't know. I feel like Link's character model looked a little weird to me. I don't know why. It was maybe the textures or something. I'm not sure. I need to see more.
Yeah, and that's the thing people have been talking about. They are questioning, is it okay? Is everything all right? His proportions look a little weird, but I think he's supposed to be even more of a kid than he is normally.
He is supposed to be a child.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, some of the textures look a little storybooky almost.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a wood bed, on a hay bed, on some cloth textures that are a little weird. But this is it's an early announcement teaser trailer. That doesn't necessarily mean that will 1-to-1 translate to the art style.
Yeah.
Because we know they can make more realistic, higher res models. The team have been doing that for Breath of the Wild for a couple of years as well. And also, what I was going to say as well was the Skyward Sword HD remaster was also really good and had lots of really good quality of life.
Yeah.
That was actually a pretty good time. People felt very negatively about that game, I think, when it came out, because the motion controls were kind of ass if you didn't have the Motion Plus for that fine tracking. But the Switch 2 or the Switch 1 port was pretty alright. So, there's something there to be said for the marketing of remakes, but I hope Nintendo doesn't just keep firing and forgetting. But that's definitely actually no, I think I don't remember if I brought this up before, but I can say it now. I've never personally played Ocarina because the remake was on 3DS and I didn't actually own an N64. I had friends with an N64, but they didn't have Ocarina of Time. The Zelda we played collectively, skimming the GameFAQs board, was Wind Waker. So I have seen many people play Ocarina of Time. I'm familiar with all the story beats from all the continuity of it, but it was not my nostalgic childhood Zelda game. The Zelda game I technically played first by myself was Link to the Past, which also has a DS remake, kind of, sequel, remake.
Reimagining.
Remake. Yes. Reborn on the 3DS.
My first was A Link to the Past. I never beat it. I know I've said this game, but I'll say it before. I'll say it again. The first Zelda I actually beat all the way beat, was Majora's Mask. Fierce Feeding Link is my fucking goat.
Impressive, because Majora's Mask's kind of fucky.
It is super fucky.
Figuring it out is intentionally that way. But yeah, the big Zelda games of my childhood were Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, so that's where I'm locked in. I wouldn't be averse to seeing what they're pulling off with an Ocarina remake, but that's I'm kind of neither here nor there. So it's I mean, the other thing would be, I also, speaking of like 2D and stuff, like, I'm also like waiting for them to do kind of like the remake remaster of the Oracle games.
Yeah, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons just lost the time.
Great weird little games that I like was not very good at as a kid. But I owned Season. I think I probably still have the cart somewhere of Season. But like they were good games. I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, yeah. So there's always more for the Zelda mind. There's always money in the banana stand. But let me see what else there. I haven't actually sat down and watched the Nintendo Direct because people have said that the Direct itself was not very good. Like, they had cool announcements, but the actual presentation wasn't great. And this actually got referenced earlier in our Patreon chat. Let me scroll up. Nintendo's stock price actually went down like 5% after the Direct, which is like a little wild. Like, was it that bad? Damn. They had good games, but presentation is everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been told that the Duskbloods like trailer didn't really show anything new. They just had some new information and like narration. Listen, I don't want to speak too ill about game studios trying something new, but definitely like that closed beta test is going to do a lot because the description on Nintendo's own website of multiplayer action game where you fight against and alongside up to 7 other players, with blood-based powers, etc., exclusive on the Nintendo Switch 2, I'm like, I mean, while I did not play it, I think that FromSoft did very good with Night Rain, but that's exclusively like, you and 2 friends, or solos, or duos. You and you're alone, you and 1 friend, like, that's something, but I'm like, I don't know.
Like I said, like, again, I didn't watch it, I woke up too late for it, but there's still plenty of things I'm excited for. One of them being is like, we're getting an old Vanillaware game back. Muramasa Revenant Blade? That's Vanillaware, baby.
Yeah.
It's like, that game came out like a while ago, but it's getting re-released. I'm like, yes. Xenoblade's getting another game.
Also, about that, also I want to say though, there were quite a lot of these Nintendo announcements were actually multiplat. Including that one. So, like, that's another one that's wild. That's an old Vanillaware game that's coming to PC. Yeah. Like, that's gonna be a real accessible old title. I hope that they do keep doing that, and maybe they can make some fucking money.
Yes. Well, like I said, he might hate the PC, but the PC makes money. Listen, guys, I'm usually console first, but just because I'm console first doesn't mean that games can't be on PC. Put your games on PC. It's okay.
You can put games on PC. You can get
it's like
some
just like I said, like just try to be not upset when people want to mod your game so they can do weird ass shit. I do think that is like a third of the reason why people want games on PC is just so they can mod it, so they can do whatever fucking weird ass thing they want to do, like put CJ in the game.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm scrolling through the list though because I'm trying to remember what other game you said.
Let's see. Xenosaga Genesis is happening. Next game in the Xenosaga series. People are like I said, I'm weird about Xenosaga. I own many Xenosaga games. I own Xenogears. I own Blade. I own Xenogears. Yeah. It's like I own like almost all of the games. I'm not that hype about the series though. Every time I get into it, I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but the game always just takes on just a little too long. A little too long for me to get into it. Like that's happened to me with the first game. I mean, with Xenoblade 1, with Xenoblade 3, it also happened.
I think I actually have heard that story from several other people about various Xenoblades. Like, I don't know if it was like Chronicles or what, but I've heard several people talk about it where they're just like, yeah, I know, there's a big gameplay hump that's kind of weird. Like, there is some stuff to it, but you gotta kind of fight it
get in there
to get into it.
Yeah. They're fun games. I'm excited. Like I said, it's gonna be a Switch game, so I gotta see about maybe getting a Switch 2 at some point. But if I do get a Switch to Xeno, Genesis is gonna be on my list.
It's gonna be next year, 27. They also announced a definitive Nintendo Switch edition of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
We do have new info about Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Even if I could swing a Switch in enough time, that's a September game that's gonna... I'm sorry, Nintendo. Good for you, but, like, damn.
Is the Xenoblade Chronicles going to be like a 3-in-1, or is it going to be three separate?
Well,
three
let me
separate
see
purchases?
what the discussion is. Experience
'Cause I didn't
critically
actually
acclaimed
see it.
first game in Xenoblade Chronicles in 4K. An upgrade pack if you already have Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch, and you can also there will 2 and 3 will get Switch 2 editions later this year. So it is the Definitive Edition, Nintendo
sorry.
Switch Edition is just Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Okay.
Knowing them, they will probably maybe they'll offer you a deal, but it looks like they're selling physical versions separately. They're going to say July 30th for Definitive 1, October 1st for Chronicles 2 Switch 2, and December 3rd for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Switch 2.
Yeah, I got Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Switch, and then 2 and 3 for the Switch. Okay.
Well, I mean, if you want to upgrade to the Switch 2, they say that there is, the usual upgrade pack with probably not as much money as buying the whole new game again.
That's probably better. Like I said, with this coming out, yes, I do think that the Switch 2 has enough games I want to make. I am interested in the new Star Fox. I know we're remaking Star Fox again, but I don't care. I like Star Fox.
Well, and that's the thing that we said, right? Yeah, the last remake was for 3DS. The 3DS eShop doesn't work anymore, chat. The 3DS is effectively a dead, I almost said console, but dead hardware. If your 3DS still works, that's great. Good for you. If you want to buy it in a store, you probably got to go to Facebook Marketplace or eBay and pay fucking shit-ass markup, and, you can't get digital stuffs anymore. So, yeah, of course, they're gonna release it on the Switch to, their greatest penetrating console, yet. And also, it's gonna have been 10 fucking years since that happened. This is a major thing lots of Japanese developers have been talking about. It's a problem for Western game dev too, but I haven't heard them talking about it yet. But, a lot of game developers are talking about the increasing gap in franchises. Game development gets longer, games get bigger, more expensive. As we said with Square Enix earlier, right, it gets harder to grow and capture your audience these days. There are such big gaps between Final Fantasy titles, and obviously there is a lot of negative buzz generated around Final Fantasy titles for the last several ones. It's tougher to grow your market and keep yourself as much of a household name. So Star Fox is cool, and yeah, he was in the movie. He was in Super Galaxy movie and stuff like that. He's in Smash Brothers, but it's been a long time since he had a game entry, and actually, oh, that's right. That reminded me. That was something I was going to bring up about the Ocarina remake. A lot of people have cottoned on to that these sorts of remakes. Obviously, part of the purpose is to make the company money, right? To bring back knowledge of the game and bring back the brand. Some of it is to kind of reimagine games on older or obscure hardware or games that weren't perfect when they came out. RE Code Veronica, I think, is a very solid example of this, right? Or sorry, Resident Evil Veronica is the remake. They've dropped the code for it, so it's yes. REV.
Like Revelations, but not.
According to Jeff Keighley, by the way, out of Summer Games Fest type announcements, from that weekend, most wishlisted game on Steam.
No.
So doing pretty solid for them. But the other thing that people are realizing is that a lot of the designers for these old school games are getting up there in years. Some of them have unfortunately passed on. It happens. A decent number of them have retired. So, remakes like Ocarina of Time and Star Fox are so that they can have newer, younger developers, less experienced developers on the team, cut their teeth on what is arguably safe, you already have the blueprint in front of you, and then teach them the ropes to make these games so that they can pick up these games, later. A lot of people, are saying that they think that, Eiji Aonuma may retire soon.
Mm.
So, he's previously been the Zelda head honcho, so he needs to, train replacements. What's a good way to, let your replacements kind of cut their teeth again and, get the ropes? Then, hey, remake our most beloved, ? Legend of Zelda?
I think I could definitely say it's the most influential.
Yes, definitely is the most influential. Possibly the most beloved. I don't know if we can say best-selling anymore. Because, Breath of the Wild did fucking gangbusters.
No, Breath of the Wild destroyed some numbers.
Big ass video game sales. And as you do re-releases, remasters, and grow your brand, you sell more. This has been mentioned when Atlas did promo for P6 and P4R, right? They say Persona series has sold over 30 million copies. I believe I have heard that the stat for that was around 6 million copies for the franchise overall before P5 came out. So, like, P5 really had them blow up, and then they were able to turn that into P3R, eventually P4R. You know, they've funded a P6, and
Oh my God.
were able to do side steps like what's the word? Metaphor.
By the way, Omega, Legendary set this in chat, and I just checked. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 1998 has a 99 on Metacritic.
Damn. So we definitely could say most beloved and most influential, highest rated. Like, yeah. So like that's not a cakewalk, but is definitely the kind of thing where like you can teach new guys how to do the works, right?
Oh, it was released on November 23rd, 1998. That's probably what people are saying, the November release.
Well, it's close.
I see now.
They might swing it. That I would say that's probably likely. But
Wow.
it's just funny how it works out. It's honestly, I feel a little bad for FF7 that they're not going to get to clock their exact 30 year. But there was also delays, so like it's tricky.
It's fine. I'm okay with it.
It's still in the 30.
Gimme.
It's still in the 30-year cycle.
Yep. Gimme.
But yeah, I was mentioning earlier, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. It's set in Dagda, which is like still in the Three Houses world, but is somewhere separate.
Yeah.
People are like fighting over whether it's a prequel or a sequel.
Oh, is this the one? Oh, yeah, this is the one where you saw Stothis again, right?
Yeah. They've like introed some characters. I mentioned earlier it's coming out on September 17th, but also like it's fucking September. You know, Fire Emblem's cool. I like Fire Emblem. They've had good they've had some good character designs lately. I've talked about this. I prefer the Three Houses art style to the Engage art style. Maybe that's why they're going back to it after Engage. I heard the gameplay of Engage was really good, but like I said, I was not super sold on the rough outline. But they're trucking along. But it's a game that like seems like it's sneaking up all too soon, and it's just in the Hell month. So like, man, whatever. They've got the new Onimusha. Like that's the announcement on Nintendo's website above Fortune's Weave, which is like a week after Fortune's Weave, and I'm like, damn. They're announcing they're fighting their own audience. So, all the best luck, but that's something I'll have to be checking out later. DK Bonanza DLC, new Dragon Quest monsters, a single player focused Splatoon Raiders. It's gonna come out in June? No, the Direct is in June. The game's gonna come out in like July. That could be interesting. For some reason, like Capcom was also doing the Square Enix thing where they had a little bit of something for everybody. So they've announced Dragon Dogma 2 Dark Arisen, not to be confused with Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Anyway, they're doing Dark Arisen for Dragon's Dogma 2. It's coming out on Switch 2 as well, but they're doing the updates for other platforms, I believe. That's sure. I think Dragon's Dogma had some technical problems at launch. Like it had some weird PC stuff and some other things going on. So if they want to do their big re-release bust out, Capcom's re-releasing DMC 5 as well. It'll also be on Switch too. Devil Hunter Edition, yeah. This is a thing I think we're going to see a decent amount of for a while on Switch. Is like a lot of the companies who like were willing to third party with Nintendo, but the Switch just didn't have enough fucking juice, are going to be like, oh shit, the Switch 2 can take our games now. Hell yeah.
Do it.
We'll release more. Let's see. They're also getting Rayman Legends Retold. Pikuniku 2. Lies of P Complete Edition coming to Switch 2. We're getting a Hello Kitty Party game.
Nice.
Which is exclusive for Switch 1 and Switch 2. Hello Kitty Party Land. October 29th. They are doing a Metaphor port for Switch 2. Stellar Blade is going to be on the Switch 2. Like, there's like half of Nintendo's announcements on their own website, like I said, are just, and by the way, if you didn't get these already, good job. You can get these on the Switch 2 now.
Yay!
Which is all right. Like I know the price is going fucking crazy, but the Steam Deck is like a piece of hardware that also works. So like Switch 2ing some of these things are out there. Yeah, there's a new Rhythm Heaven. I don't know much about it, but that is another thing I've heard people talking about. Yeah. Sorry. The website has a bonus list of games they also want to highlight. So there's Tales of Eternia remaster. There's a new Atelier game, early 27, Atelier Caria. They're getting Master Collection 2, as mentioned before. Final Fantasy 14's coming to Switch 2. Apparently, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is coming to Switch 2 this holiday. They'll probably get in time just enough to get the new class. DayZ Cool Edition for Nintendo Switch 2?
Sure, why not?
All right. Okay, sure. Whatever, man. I think that's most of the highlights. Chad, if you've got anything else to shout out about Nintendo Switch, go ahead and slap me up. Yeah, no, the Steam Deck is fucking, like, they also got fucking clobbered by the hardware prices. But, we didn't talk about it in full, so I want to scroll, because I also didn't watch the Xbox event. But, let me scroll through. So, we are getting Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. We've come full circle.
Yarp.
This one is, looks like, almost like a new home front, like, Call of Duty's actually doing something fucking interesting, which is Korea War 2.
Ooh, okay.
They are gonna have an extraction mode called DMZ, good for them, but they showed a story trailer that's been going around the rounds, which is like a group of South Koreans, like, on patrol, they're in the city in Seoul, and then, like, it happens, like, the power gets cut, and, bombs and paratroopers start landing. Which, like, by the way, is a real-life thing. Like, Seoul, South Korea is within artillery range of the North Korean border at the DMZ. Like,
yeah.
If that war went hot, it would get real freaky and knife fighty real fast. So, like, that's actually probably a decent pick for a Call of Duty, like, campaign.
Yeah.
Like, that's good for them. Like, they're actually getting out there and stretching their muscles a little. That's neat. I'm not a big guy for Call of Duty anymore, but they're doing some stuff. Let's see.
I mean, I always like playing the stories, but I always just feel there's too much baggage. I don't want to spend like $70 for like, a 10-hour.
No, you don't want to spend $70 for like 10 hours of story and like games that are like horrifically unoptimized.
Yeah.
200 gigabyte downloads. Actually, that reminds me of a funny story. I think it was an error. Chat can maybe double check for me, but we talked before about how on Switch 2 they're doing a new Kingdom Hearts bundle. 1, 2, 3, etc.
Yeah.
On their website, that was briefly listed as requiring a download of 458 gigs. And everybody's like, that's gotta be an error, right? And I'm like, probably. But also those games are big. There's a lot of fucking HD textures and movie files to unpack there. But yeah, let's see. Clockwork Revolution, Kitchen Sailor, I don't remember that one very well. Let's see. There's a new expansion for Doom Dark Ages. Oh, they do actually have a new trailer and release date for the new Fable. That's going to be February 23.
I am actually a little interested in that. Fable was always kind of fun. I kind of enjoyed it. And from what I've seen, things look pretty cool. I like, doing odd jobs and then buying towns and then just being an adventurer.
And I will say, so there seemed to be an angle of a lot of aiming for, like, returning to exclusives, but so far anyway, a lot of these are actually still multi-plat. So I think they still have to honor their contracts. So the new Fable will also be on PS5. The new Gears of War, or is it a remake? Actually, let me see.
The Gears of War remake, I believe they've backtracked on, if I understood this correctly. They're saying that one's going to be exclusive to Xbox.
I will check. Gears of War E-Day, October 6th, so like rough period. I will check it. Let's see, there are rumors that it was pulled up, and 2 days ago they doubled down that it would be exclusive. Okay, no, yes, that one they've kind of wibbled back and forth, but it seems like they are doubling down recently that it is not locked in. That's a little weird that they're like, Halo and Fable are like because of manufacturers, but this game coming out October is like locked in. I don't know, but yeah, the Xbox right now is trying to be cool. It's one of those things where, like, on the one hand, I wouldn't mind if, like, we tried to get a little more sauce, a little more action, healthy competition is good. But also, like, I was kind of enjoying the death of the console war because it was a lot easier to get games.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, if I can't afford a Switch 2, you think I can afford a fucking Xbox? Like, if Xbox, obviously, I'm just a guy. I'm just one guy. Our podcast isn't that huge, we only get, hundreds of views, not thousands or millions or whatever views. But, like, my personal opinion is any video game that is Xbox exclusive is a video game I'm not purchasing. Like, unless I can find, like, the world's most beat up Xbox console on, like, Facebook Marketplace, for cheap, from someone who's, like, apparently illiterate and doesn't understand what an Xbox One is, I'm not playing those games. And depending on the game, I probably wouldn't pick it up on PC neither. Maybe if it doesn't sell well, they'll release it on PS5 later. They're feisting about it.
I don't know. I think the new Xbox CEO is trying to.
Oh, she's like she's a fighter, right? I'll give her that.
Yeah.
Like she has a vision, and it's like, okay, we had the wrong fucking direction for years. We're bringing it back. Like you don't want to play Xbox everywhere. You're here to play Xbox on Xbox.
Well, no, actually, you're here to play day one on Game Pass. That's what you're here for.
I mean, they still did that a lot during the presentation, from what I understand. I do feel kind of like they're trying to get away from that, or were, at least previously. Well, I guess we'll see if they keep it up.
Well, like I said, from what I understand, they're trying to wean away from it, but...
I guess if you're gonna, if you're gonna do big day one titles at your big showcase, that would be the place to shill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But, even so Gears of War is not coming to PS5. They're already locked in on Halo Campaign Evolved.
It does look good. I've heard people saying it's kind of the remake that they wanted.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of, nitpicks about some of the art style stuff, but it's Halo's one of those franchises that they've been so beat up for so long that, they're very defensive about everything. They do say there's gonna be some new campaign missions, it says 3 new missions. Looks like they're calling it Operation Meteorite. New missions featuring Master Chief and Sergeant John on a clandestine UNSC operation behind enemy lines. So either, post-game missions or maybe prologue missions. Because I will say this. I've seen this discussion going around. You played Halo 1. Master Chief in Halo 1 is not quite the same guy that he is even in Halo 2 and 3, let alone in, the 343 games.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to do a little work to, nudge Chief a little more into his, his other game presentation, or even hey, Chief has a whole different thing going on in the books, right? That's actually, you would never pick up on the shit going on behind Chief's faceplate, in the novels in Halo 1. In Halo Combat Evolved, Master Chief's kind of a dumbass. At one point, Cortana's like, "Hey, Chief, did you know what this fucking magic 8-ball has you doing?" And Chief's like, "Yes, Cortana, he's having me activate a system that will destroy the Flood." And she's like, "No, you fucking idiot! He's gonna blow up the galaxy! Here's the numbers!" And Chief just goes, "Okay, cool, Cortana, I guess we'll do it your way." And then Guilty Spark is like, well, if you want to turn the weapon on, I have to blow you up." And Chief's like, "Shit, dude, nobody blows me up before I get my mimosa." That's right, I did the callback, chat.
You did the callback.
I brought it back.
You brought it back. Thank you.
Yeah, no, Chief's kind of a dumbass in Halo CE. So if they want to bring that around, that I could see them doing some rewrites and new content. It's interesting. It's not it's July, which is technically free, but it's a little late in July. So we're worrying about stuff. I'll keep an eyeball on it. They did announce Minecraft Dungeons 2. I don't expect to play anywhere. It's back. It's gonna be September 29th. Not a great day. They're doing a new Hellblade game, but it's not Hellblade 3. It's just called Senua.
Shrug?
It does have Ninja Theory. They've got some stuff. I think that might be exclusive. No, yeah. Xbox on PC and cloud. It's in Game Pass. So yeah, they've brought it back. We are getting a brand new Sparrow game. So far, I think that has only been announced for Xbox. So, no, the Hellblade game they're saying is set after Hellblade 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a prequel. It is a sequel, probably. It's just, they're not calling it Hellblade 3. They're the press inference says, set after Hellblade 2, existing fans will love the fresh new direction, and it'll be an entry point for new players. But yeah, new Spyro, completely brand new game, from the guys who made Crash 4 and the Spyro Reignited trilogy. They're making a new one. They brought Tom Kenny back. I don't think it's been announced for other platforms. That's just a shame. It's all consoles? Okay, so they've said later. Yeah, I'm reading a news article that I think was typed up. Actually, no, I'm reading straight from Xbox Wire, so they're a little cagey, okay? But okay, that's good.
They really want you to buy games on their console.
So much so that Xbox will lie to you and will pay game devs not to put out trailers for other consoles until later. Looking at you, Atlas. That's okay. They put out all the Persona trailers like literally 24 hours later. But like, yeah, like I know that like PlayStation also only puts PS5 logos usually on when they do like a state of play, so like that's to be expected. I do think it fucking annoys me that like Xbox will have like Atlas and Sega and stuff put out trailers that don't say it's multi-console for like 24 hours. Like if there's pre-orders open, it's like they're trying to debate you. But okay, Spyro's multiplat, that's good. State of Decay 3, some people will be excited about that. Funnily enough, it was Xbox, I think, who had the new news and the date for Castlevania. But that we already knew is multiplat. That's coming October 15th.
Yeah.
We've got a confirmed name, Rose Belmont.
Ooh, okay.
She's got some different elements. We got this. They had a design in the trailer for older Trevor. They have a new design for Carmilla. She's showing up.
Okay.
Rose has a cursed arm.
Yeah.
Dracula's curse type shit. And they did actually show the cover art as well, and they've got a beautiful hand-drawn cover as well. So, like, we're getting real cool. Return to form. We got a Crazy Taxi trailer. This one I know had some controversy because there is an AI disclaimer on it, but it's, like, weird.
I'm not sure. I've heard about the AI. I don't actually know what it's about.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why it's a discussion is because I believe the disclaimer is kind of confusing. Sega says they used AI, but not to do, like, VO, I think. And I don't think, like, music. So, like, there's a question of, like, are there, like, assets or textures that are AI generated? Is it like E33 and other games where they used, like, AI stuff for placeholders? Which is, unfortunately, very common, and, like, game studios are already, like, realize they can get away with that shit. So, like, that's a hill gamers lost on.
Mm.
Okay, so they used it as they used AI as reference art, so none of the assets are in the game. I'm shout out to Sega for sticking to actually using, like, Steam's, like, AI generated content decoration, but also, like, they phrased it really weird. So they did use AI in the development stage of the game to make reference art. They did not use it as the final assets. They based assets on it. So, like, AI was involved, but it's not in the final product, and it hopefully won't be even any placeholders, so whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Crazy Taxi. What do you fucking want, man? I don't know. I might give it a look. That's right. I need
Crazy
to
Taxi
watch this.
is just fun.
Yeah, we'll see. This is a game I actually need to look at, because there's some trailers. There's something called Magician's Devil's Deal. Stage magic becomes real. It's in, like, Theaterland. It's, like, Victorian London. You're a magician with a pact for the devil. Let's see. They say atmospheric exploration, combat, powers. I gotta look at this trailer, actually. Because, like, I've seen the screen caps a little. Let me grab this game and see if I can look at some screen caps. It's being published by Focus. It's a narrative-driven FPS with powers. So it's a BioShock-like. Honestly, no, I'm looking at these screen caps, and I think BioShock-like is the correct one. Here, let me post them in Patreon chat, one that I just found on the Googler. So, like, it's a Victorian, stage magic FPS with, like, classic occultism themes. You made a deal with the devil. I'm like, okay, all right, okay.
Like, I'm here for it.
I'll watch this trailer later. And I think it's on all consoles. 2027. It should be on all because it's Focus Entertainment. I don't think those guys are Xboxy. It is Xbox exclusive. Lame. You always got to keep an ear out because, like I said, you never know. Because, like, literally after that, like in the Xbox article, they've got Metro in February, and then the back-to-back of P6. I think we said our piece on Okami, but just in case you're not going back to watch the Okami streams to get more knowledge for the Dancing Dragon Castle event, the P6 trailer is nothing. They're making P6. I knew that. It's green. I also knew that.
File that under shit I already know.
Like, I guess they are kind of going for, like, spooky occult vibes in the trailer, but also it's an early teaser trailer. Like, they kind of carried over some of the themes they showed in the first P5 trailer. Like, that was the like, school chairs with the ball and chain, you are slave, want emancipation. That's, like, very loosely what P5 is about, but it's an extreme high level, so I'm sure, like, the P6 stuff will be extremely high level of this trailer. I know Atlas has put out a few more things. Let me see if I can find, like, their blurb. Yeah, that's talking about the high school stuff. Let me see. It's gonna be everywhere. We have no idea on the release date. Yeah, that's basically nothing. Let me see. This says it has first story details from Atlas, so let me see if it's there. So they're saying that they're continuing what made Persona 5 a whirlwind success. You got to balance everyday school life and supernatural adventures. Okay, this article is saying for sure it's high school student with a double life.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like we're not doing the college extension, which is sad. But completely standalone story, new characters, as an ideal starting point for first-time fans, but long-time fans, unforgettable mystery. Supernatural side is, strange rumors, urban legends, occult incidents, etc. Yeah, it's like they're just making another Persona game. I'll check it out when it's out, but otherwise it's just like guys who can't release Persona 5 again to sell you more Persona 5. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if maybe they do lean a little heavier into the occult stuff, maybe? Like, all of the games are very occult, but they do kind of, like, go back and forth. They did, I think, kind of mention the, like, I guess, like, the themes of all three previous of their modern Persona games. They're talking about, strange rumors, which obviously was an early, like, Persona thing, but also was a major theme in 4. Everyday occult and strange occurrences. So, like, yeah, it just kind of sounds like they're doing their best hits stuff. We are doing P5R, or P4, yeah, P4R. They already had a P5R. But it's releasing February 18th. This, by the way, this basically confirmed for me that FF7 is going to be March. I think if it was February, they wouldn't say spring, but it's like every time there's been an FF7 game, there's been a Persona game. So like they're close. They're going to be close. It's just how it is. This is looking pretty good. Some people are kind of like saying that they're not sure they like kind of like how the slight art style changes for the HDifying for like some of the sprites and character models looks. I can kind of understand that. We're still a few months out from the build, so maybe they'll refine some of that stuff. We are making a jump to HD with this. I did at least see in the trailers that they are still doing some anime cutscenes, which is nice. That was my one complaint about P3R, is that they went to almost entirely in-engine, which was a little disappointing for a couple of the shots where they were, like, really impactful, in the anime style. Mm-hmm. The main thing to keep in mind for people at home is Atlus has said, they've officially said, this is considered a complete remake of the content, the definitive edition of P4 Golden, so all the golden stuff will be in it. I know that was kind of like a question of like, okay, so is P3R going to include all the FES stuff? And Atlus was very insistent that it wouldn't include the answer by default. That became, the episode Aegis DLC, but I think all the other stuff from Fez made it into P3R, so this is going to be P4 Golden. Sorry. We have actually crossed the 3-hour mark. We're at 3:18.
Okay.
We yapped about video games long enough. We can mention Deathwatch, but yeah, P4R is like, I'll keep an eye on it, but it's probably a little too close to. It's currently in my mind sandwiched between Evercold and 7 Revelations, which is a bad place to be for me. I'm sorry. I really liked P4. Never played Golden, but like it's a bad spot. It's a bad spot to put a fucking 40 to 80 hour video game.
I played P4, never beat it. This isn't like my P3 where I beat it and just forgot. I've generally just never beat it, so I definitely want to get in there.
I feel like, believe it or not, P4 has more of a tougher time to beat because there is a kind of tricky bad end check like 2/3 of the way through the game.
Really?
Yeah, like after Nanako's dungeon, like there's a whole thing which is like
I think that's not. Like I know like who started this whole thing because people like telling you, yeah, that character you met at the beginning? Snaps fingers, port to that person. But
yeah, every day makes the jokes about the gas station attendant.
Yeah, so
which is a little. By the way, I will say, community-wise, that is actually a little bullshit. That's the true ending. You gotta double work your dick off to get that one. I have done that ending before. Like, I've gone back and beat P4 all the way, but it is a little bit of a pain in the dick.
No, so
you're interested in revisiting, but also for you, that's also sandwiched between Evercold and FF7 Revelation.
This is the reason why I couldn't get P3 reloaded. Well, I was also like broke at the time, but still.
Well, yeah, no, like that's the thing we talked about, right? Like somebody has done a side by side. Every single FF7 remake has been like within spitting distance of a Persona game. Like remake was like really close to P5 Royal. Rebirth was like right next to P3 Reload. And now, Persona 4 Revival is like, it'll be first, but it's going to be really close to Revelation. Like, I feel it in my bones.
All the Persona R games. What the hell?
Yeah.
But I think that is enough about video games. Let's talk a little bit about Deathwatch.
I mean, actually, there is one more Xbox announcement it was at the Xbox trailer I want to mention. Like, we've got a few different things, but I think we can just say one of them. The next Plague Tale game, Resonance Plague Tale Legacy, is August 27th. So not quite in the Hell Week, but in the period. That is going to be multi-plat, but they are showing off some stuff. It does look like there's going to be a little more combat opportunities in Legacy. Like we're continuing to grow our systems each game, which is neato.
It is neato.
Yeah, honestly, I'm scrolling the rest of these announcements, and it's like, nah, we don't need to mention any of these. I think the other thing that's funny about this is Valar Mortis, the kind of Napoleonic first-person Souls-like, right? That was originally announced at the Xbox Showcase for September 24th. Those devs have actually pushed it like 2 weeks. Like, they've moved it to like the first week in October.
Yeah.
And like, they straight up put out a statement like, sorry, we locked in our intended release date, months ago. It turns out a lot of games releasing on that date. We want you guys to have a chance to enjoy it fully. We're moving. So good on them.
I remember there was another, like, I love it when like game devs do that. I can't remember what game was it, but it's all like, our release date was originally going to be this date, but another game's coming out, so we're going to move ours because we want to play that game too.
Wasn't that Dawn Trail?
I don't know.
I feel like I remember Yoshi P being at like a fan fest when they locked in with the release date was like, yeah, by the way, we originally had an earlier date in mind, but a video game came out. Was it the Elden Ring DLC? I think it was. I think it was Shadows of the Erd Tree. They were like, hey gang.
Oh,
yeah, it was
yeah,
Shadows. That's right. Yeah, they were like, hey gang, we know you love Final Fantasy, but Shadows of the Erd Tree was coming out on our original release date. We wanted a chance to play that too.
I'm just like fair.
That's always cool.
I think
that's always cool and very frank. Yeah, but yeah, let's yap a little Deathwatch.
A little Deathwatch. We're on our 4th mission. We're going to the 3rd primary planet. I can never remember the damn names.
It's Trivolacus Primus, but the whole point is everybody just calls it Worm Nest, even though it's not the official name.
Worm Nest.
The one with the salt and the desert and the salt
and the
desert.
Storm.
Yeah,
and the desert salt storms.
I should have had you do a tank-based mission.
That'd have been fun.
I still have time.
But we got into it. There's no polite way for me to say this. There really isn't. I think I'm gonna have to start taking a leadership role again. Like, I don't want to discourage people from wanting to take the lead, wanting to take the role. But I am noticing, like, very often that if I do not say, hey guys, we're doing this, there is no small amount of, I think the word I want to use is dithering.
Dithering's a good one. That's the one that came to my mind. Yes.
Yes.
There was some problematic dithering in the episode. I think overall the session went pretty good and the mission went pretty well, but there was kind of a midpoint, right?
Yeah.
Like
you'll notice there's a point where
they did it. Sorry, I was going to say structurally there's like a front half where like you guys do all your requisition. We have heavy on role playing because Dallas introduces his new character, which he does seem to be much more direct and not forceful, but like he knows what this guy is about.
Yes. He actually, like, honestly, I will say this for Dallas. Dallas made an excellent backstory. I mean, an absolutely excellent backstory for this character. I love it.
Yeah, I know. He had a whole write-up and everything. Like, he put his heart in. And, like, you cracked some jokes about him alerting the Horde, but he is the Assault Marine, so, like, I think at least he's got his niche locked in a lot better, right?
Oh, no, I'm not mad about him necessarily alerting the Hordes. I'm more mad about him wanting to dash to the other guard tower when I could have easily just taken him back and, kept things on the down low.
Yeah, I think that's, his new character trying to fit in. Like, that probably could have been a little bit more of a role-play moment with Sniperius just being like, no, brother, I don't need to. But, like, he didn't, maybe you guys can talk about it post-mission. Baltazar didn't really seem upset that you just shot that other guy. He was just like, oh.
No, he didn't. I will say, like, yeah, no, I will give Dallas kudos for that. He's just like, he went on to the next enemy on there. So that's why I didn't make a particular fuss about it either. I just, got my
But yeah, so we had early roleplay, and then you had kind of an investigatory element. You guys picked Loth as your squad lead, and Loth he's been struggling. Honestly, I don't know if it was directly related, but I do know that tooth stuff can fuck up other stuff in your face because your face is really complicated. He's had a tooth extracted this week, so like I don't know if that was like the preamble to that was bothering him, and that's why his sleep has been shit. I don't know. He was tired. He was a little out of it. Early in the session, he had some good bits. Like, there was a little bit of backtracking because, like, figuring out exactly what he wanted to do, he wasn't as specific. But, like, he threw out some stuff to be like, oh, Sniperius, could you look around while we're at a high vantage point? And you were like, Sniperius looks around. And I'm like, okay, Cliff Notes. Here's the rough outline. Mm-hmm. And, you guys were like, yes, all of that seems above board. All right. We've got a time-pressing thing. Let's move on to that. Nothing here seems like it's gonna, leap up and bite us in the dick. Let's go out there and do the primary thing.
Yes.
So like that stuff was pretty good. Then there was a little bit of a lull. Well, so actually, Axe, you've jumped ahead in the story, but this works. You're like, oh well, we're doing the whole squad leader. It feels like a dick move just to go and act. No, actually, that's what I wanted to bring up. I wanted to remind the players of this now, and probably the players of the session. I think that is the thing, like he's talking about, where people feel like they're holding back a little bit. As Deathwatch kill team members, the squad leader is supposed to have final say in your tactics. The book actually does say that, especially because it's like a rotating position, like, you guys don't have a strict chain of command. Like, you guys totally can go off and do your own things and be independent. Obviously, Sniperius does that a decent amount because of the way, like, squad mode works versus... Basically, squad mode is too small for Sniperius, okay? Like, but you guys are supposed to defer when you guys have, like, tactical choices. Like, if you have an A-B choice and you don't know what to do, the final say is supposed to be with your squad leader. But, like, I do think that, like, people were a little too, like, waiting for Loth's input, and Loth was, like, muting a lot, stepping away a lot, kind of fighting his own
Loth's dick step away is he got a phone call. You just can't,
That's true, yeah. At one point, he had a mission critical, in real life, mission critical phone call. So it's like, yeah, no, like that's something that I was thinking about in retrospect that I should have emphasized more, because the book does emphasize it, and I want to say it for, like, I don't remember if he got called or texted. It was a conversation with his twin sister, so, like, that's, like, yeah, no shit. Like, that's something where you're gonna expect a certain level of responsiveness and communication about stuff. But, like, he was busy dealing with that in the middle. That's something I was thinking about that I'm like, I want to emphasize for next time. Like, the squad leader has final say when you have, like, binary choices. Like, it's supposed to... Basically, I think the squad leader mechanic was designed by Fantasy Flight to be, like, when you get those player character moments where the GM gives you, like, tactical options or whatever, you need somebody to be the final vote, because otherwise players will just, as Lucky brought up, dither forever, But it's not actually supposed to stop you guys from, like, stepping out there and doing your own thing, because the roles in Deathwatch are very specialized. And, like, I think Sniperius and Baltazar did that very well. And I do kind of feel like, Brand and Kier were kind of, like, you guys were a little held back because Loth was, like, stepping in and out a lot, and, like, was not, even when he was present, was not, like, necessarily, like, snappy with decisions. Like, when he had a chance to speak on what he would say as the next move is, he was pretty good about being like, yeah, okay, I've got it now. You guys go here, we'll do this, etc., right?
And Loth was very good about feedback, too. I do know a couple times, like, I wouldn't say it that way, I would say it more this way, and Loth was like, yes, that.
Yeah, like when Loth was, like, physically not in the right headspace or mouth space to say stuff, when you or others would offer suggestions, he would be like, yes, I like what you said there. I will. My Lutheron would say it more like that. You're right. Like, or he would straight up admit, Lutheron would say this, like, more coherently than me, but I'm just Loth working through this thought. Here is my thought, and we would kind of, like, nod and, like, take what he said and like work with it. But like I said, I think Kieran and Brand, or out of character Aaron and Axe, were, like, not wanting to like step out from where Lutheron as Loth was to get in there. And so Aaron's already said in the chat right now, he's like, oh, I will keep that in mind.
No, like, Loth is not the greatest planning thought guy, but he'll put in the effort when he can. It's just, your results may vary.
And he is very... very good about admitting when he's like, okay, guys, I have a loose idea, or I have no ideas. I want your input on this, right? Like if he's in the leadership position and you turn to Loth and go, and Loth's like, I have no idea. I have no strong feelings. What do you guys think? Like he's really good at when he doesn't have something solid, he'll rotate off. He can be humble or self-effacing when he does have a strong idea. He will be like, okay, here's my idea. I might be an idiot, but here's what I've got, Like, he's decent at, like you said, at, like taking feedback and shaping stuff. But, like, yeah, that's definitely a moment where, like, honestly, I think there were opportunities for you to pitch like the clockwise sweep, but knowing you, Axe, you didn't want to like step on Loth's toes, like or like, oh well, Loth is the squad lead, so like I don't want to like pull it away from him. But there were definitely there was a moment of downtime where Lucky, you did get frustrated and were like, fuck it, we ball.
Yes.
You kind of walked back your maximum ball, like when you started to ball out, like I was like, okay, all right, okay, if you're gonna do that, I need to get some dice ready because that means some stuff's going on. And then you were kind of like, no, I don't want to start shit when the other players aren't like in action mode. I won't go crazy, but like we'll get moving.
Yeah,
because I was totally gonna have those two guys in those guard towers shoot at you. Like I know you have. I don't think you. When you first said you were going to just jump to the tower, I don't think you'd said you'd turned on your masking field yet.
No, I hadn't.
So, like, that would have been... We would have taken some turkey shoot pot shots, you know. That would have been... I thought that would have been a very funny way to kick this off, but you decided to you got aggro, to leave a conversation point on something that's going to come back. Like, you got aggro, but when it, like, the tactical came up, you were like, no, I'm going to step back and do more like what Sniperius would do.
Yes. But also, Axe, I do want to point this out. So many times we turn to you for a conversation or idea, and you go, "Oh, I forgot." This happens many times.
That is, I think, more of a Rain thing. But yeah, like that's a problem that's been had in the past. Axe has talked to me about like how he feels like the leadership stuff is very stressful. I'm keeping that in mind when we do get back to Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Of like,
but
not wanting to harsh his buzz too much.
No, but yes, Sniperius probably could do the stealth clear, but then we're not being a kill team. Then I'm just being a kill marine.
Also, to actually do the stealth kill, it would have taken him as long as doing the 100% stealth run in like a game would have. Like, remember, he only gets like the extra bonus hit from like explosive for his stalker pattern weapons normally. Like, him full auto firing his special dragon's breath shells in his shotgun is not stealthy. That is incredibly obvious. Now, like, picking Sniperius out of the crowd to shoot back is hard because of the masking screen, but, like, it's not impossible, you know? Like, there's I think I legitimately had a question of, like, okay, these guys could try to shoot back at you because you're at the end of, like, a flaming shotgun, but I think that you had done enough damage with that shot that most of the horde was gone, so they were, like, fighting withdrawal, so it was like, no, they will still try and full move rather than take bad pot shots at where Sniperius is. Like, they could have shot back, though, because you were only mostly stealthy. But, like, it would... To do a 100% stealth run would have taken a long-ass time. Like, again, when you guys actually went full bore and started wrecking face, as usual, like, old hand Brand had his heavy bolter with his dispenser, he fucking killed. We had a new assault marine who's melee-focused. When he got into close, the enemy charged and failed to hit him, so they just ran into close combat, and he was just like, oh boy, here I go killing again. He fucking schlappoed. Like, he was moving different, okay? He was clearing hordes like a Space Marine 2 character. Lutheron and Kier were a little more relaxed, but you guys were just kind of like single or semoing, your bolters, right? Like you didn't want to necessarily break out and get into close range because you're not a jet Pikmin, but you also didn't necessarily want to get away from the squad, you know? Like, no, the artifacts is pretty good. It's a nice bolty do. Like, we'll see what you guys tackle with the next session, because you did decide that you wanted to stay behind and clean up some more dissidents. Like, you didn't have to, but your Sniperius, pitched it to the group, and Lutheron agreed that, like, we don't like the idea of enemies fucking around behind us.
No.
And then you've got the key for the next one, which there'll be more opportunities for some shenanigans, which may involve some more of your different specs.
Yeah.
You got the plasma, right, Kier? Yeah, you got the Rage Fire again. So, like, technically, because Sniperius didn't take his missile launcher.
Nope.
So, like, if you guys run into heavy targets, like, that there are some, enemy trucks. There may be some highly armored boys that we need you to can open. Like, it's just, that interesting case of, like specializations. Axe saying in the patron chat, he's like, I think I gotta, he's saying, I gotta get in my head, I'm like the flex slot. And I'm like, I think that is actually how Tech Marine is. Like, you can do some very powerful melee. Like, that happened in Mission 3, the first session, where, like, Kier actually got to fucking hit some orcs with his claymore, and then would just, like, do, like, 99% of put them 99% to death with a hit and just be like, and my servo arm finishes him off. And I'm like, this orc is dead. You have crushed all of his bones? He's dead. That guy was at like crit damage 1. You just did like 14 damage with your servo arm. He's dead. Impact 10 plus body. He is a smear. Like, and then the rage fire actually did pretty good at vehicles. Like, you were doing very decent damage just at risk of running out of all your ammo and being useless for 4 fucking turns, because that shit's crazy. But yeah, like, that's the case. I do also hope Loth has a little more energy next time, because that's another thing where, like, in combat, I don't think Lutheran got to, like, do his chops as much, but Loth is also, as the apothecary, playing a truly flex slot, where, like, he is, like, on one hand, power sword. On the other hand, I could shoot my bolter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everybody is kind of still figuring out their niches. That was like part of Dallas's problem, was that his, as a White Scars psyker, as a White Scars librarian, his direction was a very weird niche, and like it did not necessarily work out with the rest of the crew. Like he was probably for like leading a charge into, you know, the fight, you know, but then, like, you guys don't necessarily charge, right? Like, that's a thing that acts as the Tech Marine does a little bit, but, like, again, most of our melee crewmen are just as comfortable also quick drawing a bolter. So being the Assault Marine to just be like, I'm going to fly 70 meters. It's the free jetpack that gets you.
It really is.
And Aaron's saying, you know, having a tough time of threading the needle, talking too much too little. That's a kind of thing how everybody is. I know, Lucky, you also have that issue where you're like, okay, Sniperius is supposed to be taciturn, and like, I can, you know, put my attention elsewhere, but if we're not doing anything, it's like, guys, can we do some stuff? Oh, my internet dropped. I don't know how much Lucky heard about that. Alright, well, we're almost at 4 hours. We'll reconnect and probably pack up.
You actually get playing and less role play, and I don't know how to feel about that.
Sorry, what were you saying, Lucky? I died for a little bit. I came back to talking about struggling with more or less role-playing.
Omega's very quiet. I think we lost him.
Oh, am I like catching up?
Or he can hear me, and I just can't hear him. I don't know. Oh, the ping is fucked.
So, chat, I can hear Lucky.
Okay, he can hear us, though. That's good.
He can't hear me right now because my ping is
lighting up.
Am I coming through yet? My ping is in the stratosphere.
Chaos.
I'm gonna kill chaos.
And Omega comes back with "I'm gonna kill chaos."
I knew that would happen. Yeah, sorry. My I did disconnect for a little bit, so I lost some of what you said. But like for the last like couple of minutes, my ping was just like 5,000 milliseconds. So I guess you couldn't hear me. I was saying that no. I cut out and came back on you, ending on talking about the struggle between role playing too much or too little.
Mm. So, did you hear about me talking about our discussion on Frumentil?
No, that part I didn't catch.
Okay, so back on Frumentil, like in the second session when we actually made it to the armory, we Sniperius did a stop to talk about the Imperial Knights and their role. This was after you'd done your the 2d10 roll on how much time we would have to do that, and you rolled pretty damn high. We had a lot of time. We were taking that time I was trying to get that time to get some role playing and explain and talk about, like the role of the Imperial Knights and all that stuff. And I feel like in that moment, you were doing that thing where you kept looking at the watch and looking at us, looking at the watch and looking at us. And you made comments, about like, hey guys, you still got all these times, you got all these actions to do. And I really felt like you were trying to hurry us along in the role play in that moment. We were actually trying to do role play. And I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, if it came across that way, that wasn't what I was aiming for. Because I know you'd said you wanted to do some role play. Like, I know I definitely brought up the timer of like having so much time left. I thought that was there's the audio out there, people can double check, but I thought that was a little later in that conversation because like you brought it up, you had to make some lore checks to like kind of like bridge some gap, because we're talking about like Sniperius is like I don't really know about these knights and stuff. But like. In that conversation, there were definitely some lulls, because you were like asking questions to get roleplay started, but I know that like because Axe was doing a lot of the lore rolling, like was not always like giving you the exact response you were looking for. So you were like, well, okay, I'm trying to bridge this into this and that and the other thing.
Yes.
Like, because the thing about having, like, you had a lot of time was, like, I think I said this even later in the session, like, I'm not really I wasn't really fussed about you guys taking time to do stuff, because you had a lot of time. But there were definitely moments that were in that session where it was just, like, I felt like, you guys were not necessarily, like, what's the word? Like, you had a lot of time to do stuff, but we were not necessarily doing stuff yet. Like, you had a lot of time to work on stuff, but when I was asking you, like, or asking the group, I should say, you is ambiguous about whether it's plural or singular. When I was asking the group about what you wanted to do, that was another session where there was some kind of, like, flexing back and forth about, like, well, I'm kind of interested in this bit, I'm kind of interested in that, like, there were several roles about, like, examining the boneyard and stuff later, and the kill team was not necessarily, like, you were making rolls that were not taking time to, like, gather information, and then the kill team was not necessarily doing anything with that information. And so there were points where I was kind of, like, tapping my metaphorical watch and being like, okay, you guys haven't actually done anything to start counting down time yet, are we making tactical decisions and stuff? But I thought there was my memory is that there was a little bit of a hump, because there was the initial discussion about the Imperial Knights, which I think was pretty all right. Like I said, I know there was, like, not always, like, everybody was responding at all cylinders, but that at least got, Kirita to roll some lores and talk about some stuff, and I was doing quite a bit of expositing to set that all up, because Sniperius was asking questions. But then there was kind of the discussion you talked about, like, ultimately not necessarily employing the knights or trying to employ them defensively. That involved a lot of round-robin questions from everybody. Like, I remember Dallas asking about, like, like, how the control systems work. And, like, at one point, Dallas was like, oh, well, the knights not, like, listen to our orders. And I was kind of like, roll some stuff out. And it's like, well, the machine spirits, not necessarily. Like, Imperial Knights are not, under the command of the Deathwatch. So, there's, like, they'll listen to you like normal Imperial citizens would, but there's no, like, guarantee kind of a thing. So, like, there were questions and back and forth. And then, before we actually got to the parts where you guys started, like, setting up for the ambush, there was that kind of moment we did talk about, I think, in a previous week, where, Sniperius asked Bran for his las cannon and stuff, because that was one of your other big goals for this session.
Yes.
And that caused in-character tension, which bled out of character a little bit, but came back later. So, like, that, I feel like, I thought, like I said, my memory might be wrong. And if it is
well,
wrong,
actually, I do want to ask. Aaron, do you remember?
Yeah,
we have
right
two other
here.
people who ever... Yeah.
Because, like I said, like, if you felt like I was, looking at the clock and rushing you during the initial Imperial Knights phase, that's my bad. That wasn't my intention. I remember it being more of, like, after that, the thing with the las cannon, because that was when it was like, okay, you guys have discussed your tactics about the Knights. I know what Sniperius is planning on doing. There's 4 more of you, kind of a thing. You got all these mines, you got this, that, the other thing, like, trying to get the old, okay, guys, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to actually do? Well, you definitely could have done more at the time. You had 1,000,000 time, but that's not necessarily here nor there.
Oh, Aaron is typing. Also, yes, Dallas was not having fun.
No, yeah. I mean, more of Dallas's not having fun was, like, that was like, later in the actual combat parts. Like I said, I remember him being pretty engaged with the Knights discussion, because he was also trying to, like, kind of reckon with the lore and, like, the questions Sniperius asked the group. You gotta be careful about being too confident.
Well, I may have worded my question weirdly. Like, don't take it that my word is gospel. Lucky can be bad with words too. This is completely possible. Like I said, there are definitely some times where I note that I say something kind of vague. So Aaron says he felt a little bit of it, so... Okay.
And maybe not to be like, oh, it was all Lucky's fault. But maybe, like, talking about it like that, you were expecting a specific follow-up from Axe. Maybe that was also part of that early bit where, like, I also wasn't, like, hadn't picked up yet that this was, like, I'm trying to set up a whole conversation about, using the Knights. Like, yeah, that is one of those things where, like, judging by the feedback of my players, I'm a pretty alright GM, and I'm usually, considered pretty permissive. I don't always pick up on the secret signs. Like, if I don't realize you're trying to do a thing, I'm just trying to follow my notes. Like, I have been bamboozled by you guys before. I still think about, like, yeah, that was the last session of Rain we did before the break, where, like, I went through like a whole thing, and you were like, Omega, I literally discussed it earlier. And I'm like, shit, you're right. I'm sorry. You did do that. I just, like, I completely, like, dropped to that point because I went to lower down in my script. Sorry, my bad. I feel like I wasted the gang's time a little bit. Oops. Like, I still remember that one. Like, I mean, it's the weird thing where, like, in a sense, I did intend for it to feel like a time pressure, and obviously I rolled, like, really high.
Honestly,
Like,
I was thinking
so
about
it had
this
a
one.
lot
I
of
think you
space.
should have done is probably done 1d10 plus 5.
Yeah, I probably should have averaged it, or maybe like plus 4. Like, I didn't want to do 1d10 because I'm like, I'm gonna roll a fucking 2, and then the guys are not gonna be able to do anything. Like, they're gonna freak out. Honestly, I could have gotten away with that because you guys didn't actually need all that fucking time. But yeah, it was one of those things where like I wanted to massage it. I have no further static or RNG based stuff like that. A lot of stuff is like, spread out amount of it's either strict time units or etc. Like, I actually, like, spec'd out for, like, the thing with the storm approaching of, like, rough timelines for stuff. Which, by the way, was also generous. I know Dallas was like, oh, I want to use inquiry, like, real quick. I said it would take probably, like, I think it was, like, 15 or 30 minutes to do that. He was like, oh, that seems like a long time. The book says inquiry is an action that takes, like, at least an hour.
Jeez.
Yeah. Like, I think that's probably borrowed from, like, Dark Heresy type rules still. Like, when you're rolling inquiry, we're talking about, like, old school D&D Streetwise type shit. So, like, it's padding a lot, but, like, yeah, no, like, the time frame I gave was probably more generous than the book did. But yeah, I had time frames for, like, if you want to just search every deck, etc. I probably should have brought up a little sooner the idea that, like, the searching for drug and weapon caches was, like, a thing you could do with, like, just rolling random search checks or scrutinizer stuff. But I don't know, you guys kind of felt like you were on the... Like, there were a couple of back and forths where we had to, like, rewind or fast forward, but I feel like you guys were kind of on the ball at the drilling rig.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like, I always ask you guys to pitch me lores. My problem is that I remember that there are common lores, and I'm like, oh, shit, can you guys get common lore Adeptus Mechanicus? The fact that you can't get, like, you only get Forbidden Lore Adeptus Mechanicus versus Common Lore is, like, that is a little weird. It is, I did discuss this last time with X. I'm like, I do not actually think you are supposed to substitute FL for CL, but for the way the game is written, I can do that in a pinch with some modifiers. But I do not actually think that the rules are supposed to work that way. That's just their own goddamn fault they wrote it that way. The fucking, like, Tech Marines can pick up FL Adeptus Mechanicus, like, really early, and then, Common Lore, like, you can skim it. It depends on the skill description. Like, again, if you were doing this from the Dark Heresy side, you would be getting Common Lore Adeptus Mechanicus way earlier than, like, FL Adeptus Mechanicus. You'd have to be, like, several ranks deep on Tech Priest. But, like, Forbidden Lore is supposed to be actual, like, secret knowledge you're not supposed to know about unless you're involved. Some of it is dangerous knowledge, like, because it's 40k, everything's like that. Even FL Adeptus Astartes is like, well, if you had FL Adeptus Astartes, you might know shit about, like, you might know pre-heresy into post-heresy lore, about, like, fallen Space Marine legions. You might know about the gene seed mutations of the Black Dragons chapter, which, is technically a little weird. But, yeah.
No, but like I said, I do think, like, people will probably notice if they listen to it that Sniperius became a lot more chatty in the back half, actually leading conversations and whatnot. And I do think that it provided character and moved story along, and I may keep up with that. I did say that I was planning on having Sniperius go through his command arc from, like, ranks 4 through 6, so I might, change that up. And whatnot.
Well, you'll be getting some of that rank when we actually get the XP drop. Nah, I don't think Sniperius will be Titus. He's a little too... Titus is taciturn, but that's because he has trust issues.
a little in school, in team bickering is good. It drives roleplay.
Well, and I as much as, like, I've talked before about how it's really cool how in Space Marine 2, all the brothers have their backs. Like, there is still a little bit of gentle ribbing, and I think that is also, like, as the Space Wolf, that is supposed to be kind of the thing. Like, even amongst your own chapter, you guys employ gentle ribbing. And, like, the Black Dragon is basically a salamander, kind of. Nobody will admit it, but he's, like, vaguely salamander coated. And, like, those are usually guys that are like, respected by a lot of other Space Marine chapters. We've talked before about how, like, the Black Templars and the Salamanders actually don't get along for deeply ingrained cultural reasons. But, like, usually the Salamanders are kind of, like, everybody's buds. So it's, like, it's interesting to see kind of, like, that ribbon go back and forth. And I do like, kind of, like, the opportunity for the proto setup of, like, a thing, you know, we discussed, because the Deathwatch RPG is, you know, in, like, the 8 hundos. Like, we're pre-Third Armageddon, where it is canon that, you know, the Black Dragons committed, like, 9 of their 10 companies. So it's like, that's a thing I see a lot of people discuss on the internet being like, oh, I bet the Black Dragons get along with the Space Wolves. Because, you know, they're, like, willing to Hail Mary their entire squad at, like, something like Armageddon. It's like, they probably would, but that hasn't happened yet. But if we could set up some of that funny, like, bants, that could be cool. But yeah, we'll continue to Deathwatch. You can watch the episode right now. You can also watch, Chivalry Awakens 2 also. That, I feel like, still feels like a little bit too much of your judgment of Dallas. Like, Baltazar's pretty normal. For an assault, like, that's pretty normal assault marine stuff, to be like, there's an enemy. I jetpack to him. I hit him. The enemy is dead. Where is the next enemy? I'll jetpack. Like, but honestly, you guys are, as players, usually pretty restrained and tactical for Space Marines. Like, a lot of Space Marine chapters are kind of like, well, no, I mean, they committed 9 out of 10. They sent 90% of their force to Armageddon 3. Like, that's just how it is. They won some battles too. That hasn't happened yet, though. I'm just saying, like, you're like, well, he's gonna get those companies lost by mistake. No, like, committed is like, no, like, they sent them. The Black Dragons will send 90% of their force to Armageddon 3, Third War of Armageddon, where they will be involved in several major battles. No, that's a weird way to interpret committed. That's also technically not me saying. I'm quoting that directly from, like, lore books. That's how it's, like, the quote that's, like, cited on Lexicanum and stuff. Anyway, I've done a little work on the Black Dragons. You know, it's making sure to have the stuff set up for, like, his ossified blades. I actually found the, like, I think it's 4th edition was the tabletop edition where you could actually, like, straight up play Black Dragons and some of those other Cursed Founding chapters on the tabletop. So they're called ossified blades. I came up with chapter trappings, stuff like that.
No,
I've had to retrofit some of my my relic choices, but I think they'll fit what's going on with him. Spoiler, because Dallas doesn't listen to these. Dallas asked me if he could get the special salamanders thing to get flame on his bone blades, and I was like, no, it says chain or power only. So one of the loot drops I may have come up with is so he can get flame on his bone blades, on his ossified blades. Because Dallas specifically asked, and I was like, no, rules as written is this. So it's like, that's a thing I'll put away for later.
I haven't looked at the homebrew document recently. I should probably check and see if you have.
I got a few things. There is a stealth armor in there that I found called Shadow Scale, which is, like, explicitly supposed to also be used by the Deathwatch. I don't know if it's better than your current Wombo combo.
I mean, you let me pick up guerrilla training as a fucking you let me put that in my sniper tree. I'm fucking golden.
Yeah, I think you're fine. But it is a thing we like to work out with discussion later, and, like, there's a lot of, you know, weapon systems out there that we talked about. I'm kind of interested in stuff like that. I mean, you can get a chain axe, but it's like, I think Space Marines usually gravitate more towards power weapons when they've got the rep. He could get a flaming chainsaword or chain axe, but he could also get a power sword or power axe or power spear. I know that he's thinking about, like, he wanted to take some signature war gear. Did he actually? Dallas had to lock in, you know, some of his rep stuff. I think he settled on maybe the combi Melta Bolter combi.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm trying to think.
I think, yeah, we're saying, yeah, it's combi Melta, which is fun. If you guys can get up to Terminator armor. Yeah, the combi weapon being, like, an underbarrel single shot is, like, a little goofus. Is, like, the plasma is cool. You can absolutely just take a fucking plasma pistol, and several people did last time, just in case. Like, a single shot Melta to just be like, oh no, bang, or pachoo, since it's, you know, a thermal ray weapon. Yeah, servo harness, artificer armor. Access game, if you can one-hand the Omniscient axe. I think you can do one-handed stuff with the axe, especially because you have bionic arms. I don't actually know if it's explicitly supposed to be two-handed. It will say if it requires two hands, like if it requires two hands somewhere in the description. Like, I'm pretty sure the Sacris Claymore says that it requires two hands to wield properly. I know for a fact most of your power weapons are one-handed. Anyway, we're at 4 hours, so I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. We can probably call it out here. I think we said enough about Deathwatch.
Okay. Deathwatch, good. Check it out. We're having fun.
Fun!
Shooty Pop Jr. Bang bang. Lots of funny haha stuff we get to do. So, we will wrap up the show, though, with recording time. If you liked this episode, give us a lick. You would actually like us. It's a joke about saying like in a funny way. Join our Discord. Leave your comments down below. Sub to the channel to get more videos. If you have not, check out Wanted for Azumi no Isora out now. I do say in the video that I'm like, on the one hand, I don't think this video will do super great because, who? But some of you might need some info, so check it out. You can also, as I said, make sure you're subbed to check out our streams. The plan is to aim for the Okami finale next Monday. Yeah! And I have actually, there has been some follow-up, some VOD watchers giving me some comments, so, double check on some stuff. I did not have to double check, but, because I was told that, wanted list spawns are fixed on the map.
Oh, okay.
Which means I was super unlucky in Taka Pass. Sorry. Yes, T2 tomorrow for, movie night.
Yeah!
Discord. That'll be really interesting, because, we had a lot of fun watching The Terminator. That was a movie that was like, oh yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff here.
No, it was great.
Soundtrack.
It was so 80s. I loved it.
Yeah. There were a couple, the stuff with, Arnold's eye and, the mask, the prosthetic he was wearing was okay, that's really obvious. But, other than that, most of it held up pretty good.
It's a product of its time, baby.
Cameron always doing the best he can. And we'll get to see that with T2, because the CGI in T2 is literally groundbreaking. Brand new shit. Anyway, join our Discord to get in on that. Sub to the channel, get videos. Consider joining channel memberships, and consider supporting us on Patreon. You get access to episodes early in audio format. You could have gotten Wanted early and other stuff. You can listen to the show live. In our highest tier, you get a shout-out like Adam to Heart, Blacklist OG, Call Me Zed, Carlos, Dragon, JDV9000, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, and Charvor. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thank you very much, patrons, for supporting. We'll see you guys next week for more Let's Tech FGO. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
Good night.